1. And West Ham beat Tottenham 2-1. From Sky News, that's the latest. I'm Daryl Jackson.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And now, the forerunner to Facebook, where your words tell 1,000 Instagrams. Use your phone for making that call. And get talking across the northeast, please. Because this is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Hello everybody, welcome to your Sunday night antidote to everything else that you hear everywhere else. Tonight we're starting with a topic, and this is something that we can all play. Today I caught my lip. I put some new blades in the razor thing. Oh dear. I am my own worst enemy. And you can't look sexy with a bit of toilet paper stuck to a bleeding patch on your lip. I was in the bath when I did it, because I have a shave when I'm in a bath. My face. And I was bleeding profusely from the face. And I kept trying to use the sponge. I said, that'll stop it. That'll stop it. So I thought, it's not stopping it. I'll try the Dettol. Oh, that was a mistake. So what are you being caught by? Getting caught out. Caught cheating. Caught nicking something. Caught two-timing. Caught short. Caught in somebody else's toilet trying to sink a big one. Caught in the act. We want all of those caught stories. Big hi to Ian Warwick. Favourite night of the week. Good evening, Night Owls, he says. Ooh, I should have said that. Now, here's Davey. He is the king of being caught short. The king of being caught short.
In this job, I mean,
well, you've got
socks and everything is just...
Yeah, it needs most.
If you've got any paper in the van...
What do you do with the paper if you have, though? Do you bury it? Do you put it in a bag? What do you do?
You let it fly around.
Oh, dear.
No, you just bag it or something, you know.
Yeah.
But I've ripped my T-shirt sleeves out and everything in the past.
Right.
I've gone there and actually says, did it turn into the hook?
So also, talking about being caught short, he was, I bet we all have been. Where's the weirdest place you've ever had to go? Either for a whittle or for worse? Give me a call, 01914 488 3188. Get your texts, get your tweets, all of that. Chris is waiting for you right now. Also, catching a pet doing something. What have you caught your pet doing? Because dogs and cats always put on that... I didn't really do it on purpose, I'm sorry. But then they wait till you're out, then they do it again. I once caught a kitten of mine because I had wallpaper that had polystyrene behind it so their claws could sink in, and he climbed all the way to the top of the wall and then just hung there because he couldn't get down again. So what have you caught your pets doing?
Funny things down there, Nessie. A kitten. My mum went to the toilet in my house years ago.
Who ate the kitten?
No. She went to the toilet years ago and she shouted, Don't, quick, fetch some towels. And I went, what's the... She says, one of your kittens is down the toilet. My cat had just had kittens not long, and we think one of them must have made its way to the bathroom. It was only... We were talking about it the other day at my mum's house, And I said, so did you actually wee on it? She says, you don't. I think I did. She says, because I didn't realise until after I'd had a wee. There was something down the toilet. It was like scratching to get out, and it couldn't get out. Oh, so I had to put it on a towel in front of the fire. And I thought, well, I'm not giving it mouth to mouth. My mum said this, so you can do it.
I think that's what you call a sour puss.
A sour puss, a stinky puss.
So he caught a kitten down the toilet. Can you beat that? What have you caught your pets doing? Every pet's done something a bit dubious, so do tell. Or have you caught your next door neighbours in the pink and crinkly naked?
We would get out of the shower and walk to the bedroom to get dressed and do our hair and so on and so forth.
Uh-huh.
And it's not like we're purposely walking past the window. The rooms are quite deep. You know, it's not something we were conscious that was on show, if that makes sense.
One of the things for this is, one of the main things is, if the neighbour had have just come and knocked on the door and said, look, you've got a privacy issue, we would have been really like, oh my goodness, I didn't realise.
Yeah.
But I think they've been actually quite rude about it, you know, they've been quite cowardly, you know, they didn't feel that they could come and do that. That's why it's gone so crazy. I mean, as I say, you'd have to have binoculars to look in our window.
You'd have to have the eyesight of a badger.
Yeah, but ever since this has been mentioned, have you noticed that instead of bird watchers, there's like a haid across the road and 8 people with binoculars just keeping to try and catch you ever since?
You know, if you actually generally, you know, had a look out your window, you generally can't see in someone's window unless you purposely direct your eyesight towards that window and look. It's not something you just glance at.
With regards to your appendage, she wasn't terribly complimentary there either.
Everything looks small at a distance, I suppose. It just depends on how far away she is.
So what have you caught? You caught your neighbours out the window doing something dubious. Sometimes, even if you live with somebody who you love very much and hopefully they love you back, sometimes you can find that they have hidden something from you and they're often caught too.
Seen CSA at the top, so I thought, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
So I pulled it out, and it was a letter saying that he owed nearly £50,000 for 3 children that I didn't even know about.
So you were married to a man who had 3 kids
that I didn't even know about.
Other people that you had no clue about.
Yep. We've been together over 12 years, so it's just funny how you think you know somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I confronted him, and there's nothing else he could say. You know, he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't lie to you, I just didn't tell you. But in my eyes, that's the...
I just didn't tell you.
It's the same thing.
So what have you caught? Pick up your telephone, there's a zillion things we can go. And let's do it. Asda, Aldi and Tesco are all hiring. They've all got vacancies at the moment right here in the northeast. If you're looking for work, so easy just to fold back and not bother, isn't it? E-scooters. Is it joy for grown-up people or is it just silly kid stuff? What do you think? How have you avoided a lockdown belly? I'm working very hard on trying to lose what belly I've got, for I have a fine belly. But how do you avoid a lockdown belly? What have you done? Or are you just growing yours? After all, you paid for it. Also, at Easter, there's going to be the chance for you to meet and greet people outside of pubs, the whisper is. Robbie Williams has put his haunted manor house up for sale. Have you seen a ghost? Have you witnessed something? Is there a place you've been where you had an unsettling experience? We always want to hear those stories. Boris wants 3 underground tunnels under the Isle of Man, with the tunnels travelling all the way to Northern Ireland. This is ever since Northern Ireland got that chance to trade without barriers with the EU. Isn't it funny? He wants EU trade through Ireland to come to Britain. Now that he's stopped trying to trade the other way around, it's all BS, isn't it, really? We have another greatest hit link for you if you can work it out. Good one tonight. All UK adults to be vaccinated by July. Sorry for mentioning it because we want to be a virus-free zone this 4 hours. Summer schools to help school kids catch up. And there's a huge spike in dog thefts. Don't know whether you've heard about this. And these people are cutting out microchips just using a pair of scissors. Whoa, poor dogs. And instead of snow, because we had a fair bit of that, we're going to get Saharan dust storms instead. random, but here, do you remember the last time we had a sandstorm? You woke up in the morning, you went out and your car was just covered with sand. Also, council tax, massive rises coming in April to pay for recent have-nabs. Facial hair and unibrows are in. I hate a unibrow. Sorry if you got one. It's just wrong. Get a shaver, put a bit of a gap in there. But what's your view? Facial hair in or out? Would you stand? Also, in recent months, there's been more domestic abuse and more children killed and hospitalised by their own parents. What's your experience been? The Spanish islands are going to be the first to open for holidays, but you will need a passport, a COVID passport. And finally, the missing princess. Will we turn and look the other way? Because we make a lot of money off the United Arab Emirates. And let's face it, with Saudi Arabia, we turned the other cheek. Just pretended the whole Khashoggi thing didn't happen. When something's wrong, it's wrong. Surely we should say something about it. Where do you stand? 0191 488 3188. And we want things you've caught. Now, occasionally you catch your hand, catch your finger, catch your toe, catch your bits and bobs in something. What have you caught?
Right, well, the worst thing I've actually seen is I used to play football on Sunday morning.
Right.
And obviously, I wasn't like, you need Premier League stuff now. You had to put your own nets up and take them down.
Yeah, of course.
The lad was taking them down. Like, you've got the hooks on top of the crossbar.
Yeah.
Where the net's gone. His ring got stuck there and ripped his finger off.
Whoa, that's not good.
But I've got an even worse one than that I didn't actually see, but it happened to my best mate.
Yeah.
And I reckon some people should switch off here. He was a trainee butcher. I'm going back maybe 25 years ago in a well-known supermarket when all the health and safety thing wasn't kicking around, you know.
Right.
He was cleaning the mincing machine out and knocked it on with his thigh and minced his hand off.
Oh, that's horrific as well. Dear.
Minced his hand, just about 3 inches, like sort of below the elbow type of thing, you know.
That is horrible.
And obviously we seen went to visit him the next day in hospital and I was behind the hair, the stem put me back, the back of my back, off my back, my neck. Now it was just like your best mate's lying there with half an arm missing, you know.
Yeah, that's sick.
And but I mean, he's 42 now, and he's like got a brilliant life, you know. So he's not doing too bad, you know.
Well, imagine he still leaves the shepherd's pie alone.
I know. But he can talk about the animal, just it's not a problem now, you know. But imagine he was 18 when it happened, you know.
A whole life ahead of him. Wow. What have you caught? Do tell. Everybody's got a court story. You might think you don't. Get in there. Link it in. Share it with the Night Owls across planet Earth. They're listening just for you. Let's do it. 0191 488 3188. Now, I mentioned you've caught many things in many places. Have you ever been caught, well, frankly, with a milk bottle over your private area? Was she not angry that he had his penis stuck in a milk bottle?
Oh, aye, definitely.
Okay, so she said leave it a bit.
Till it cools off.
Leave
it, like, drops off sort of thing.
Right.
No, but it wouldn't.
Oh.
So what his brother done was he hit it with a hammer. Right, to get it off, but he's cut it. And he won't go to the doctors or nothing, so she'll tell him to put CCP on it.
Oh.
And he's put a bandage up, but his brother reckons that the cut's really kind of deep and he won't go.
Jeepers. Oh, you don't mess around with that.
Exactly, so she's telling him to go to the doctors or just go to the hospital, but he'll not go, so, I mean, it's not getting any better.
Whoa. So what have you caught? Come on, share your stories. It's what Night Owls is all about. If you want to talk about anything, we do it here. Pick up your telephone. What you been up to this week? Tell me everything. Got a song especially for you. You know who you are. Parents doing something dodgy. Ooh, there's a million stories there. So come on. Think of the best. Think of the juiciest. Tell the world. Come on. Give everybody a grin or shock, whichever way you're going. Sue says, one of my ex-friends was greatly caught out with leaving a horrible voicemail. And recently our mother's been caught out for pinching my friend's parcel. Evil person she is. And my cousin was caught out years ago with a hand in my granddad's wallet, pinching money. Oh, not good. Scott says, I drank some cola when I was a kid and caught a wasp in my mouth It stung the out of me. Oh, in your mouth. Well, you don't want that at all. David from Sunderland has got a court story. Let's go there and see what happens. Hello, David. Do tell.
Hi, Alan. I've had tears running down my face. As everybody's bored with this thing, there's lots of joke videos and stuff going about.
Sure.
And I got one from a friend, and it started off quite boring.
Right.
It was somebody putting a bottle of beer in an ice channel, a bit like a luge, and you're following this bottle of beer as it floated down the ice in total silence.
Right.
For about a minute and a half. And then all of a sudden, on came the sound and the volume and a picture of a young lady being pleasured. And she was very vocal about it.
Right.
So it was okay. I mean, I wasn't shocked. So, as a bloke as I do, I forwarded to the rest of my mates and my son in New Zealand.
Oh, right.
Which was okay.
Right.
And then about 5 minutes later, I got a text message back from him. Thanks for that, Dad. I'm sat in the waiting room at the hospital, and everybody really appreciated the sound effects on the video.
It's that thing where everybody's been in a situation where either your family's around or your girlfriend or boyfriend, depending what sex you are, and you've got something comes up on the phone and you press it, and if there's something that you don't want people to hear, you do that panic thing. And usually you go around the side and you press, instead of pressing the volume, you'll press switching the picture on or off. And the sound's still going. Hammering away on the keyboard. No! That's brilliant. Brilliant. I love that. Great caught-out story. Anything else while you're on, mate?
No, not much.
Top job.
Everybody.
Thanks for starting us
else.
off. Good, man. All the best. Worldwide Ghosts tells me, I've seen the woman at the back with no bra on, and the woman across the road walking around with only her knickers on. It's amazing what you can see when you've got a telescope, isn't it? I tell you. 0191 488 3188. But do you not have to be a bit of a peeping Tom to do that? Do you remember that film? There was an old, I think it was Alfred Hitchcock. It was called Rear Window. James Stewart, the actor, was in his flat, and he could see, 20 different windows, and he was watching all the different people. Pervert. And let's go and talk to Cliff, who's in Gateshead. He's been in hospital this week, I gather. Hi, Cliff.
Alan, mate. How are you?
I'm good. What have you been in hospital for, Cliff?
Well, at the start of the week, I was going to come on this Sunday and tell you a nice long ghost story, but I've been in hospital. I've had a fall on Monday.
Oy.
I took a full step off the back step, and I was on the ground for an hour and a half. I bashed all my knees and that, and I got up eventually with some help, and when I got in the house, I've got a concrete floor in the house, and I turned quick to open the door for the ambulance men, and I went and had another fall back, so I banged my head, so I had to get into hospital. But I just want to, I'm a right mess,
We need you to walk around in bubble wrap, Cliff.
I'm falling to bits, mate.
Jeepers.
Falling to bits.
So are you all right? I mean, did they have to do anything serious with you?
No, just went through all tests and all sorts and stuff like that,
Right.
And it's come to the conclusion I'm miles overweight. That's affecting me health,
Right.
So, but I've still got to take my time,
Sure.
I'm still having effects on my legs and that,
Is there anything you can do to try and peel? So I mentioned at the top of the show, how do you avoid a lockdown belly?
This is it. This is what's happened. All right.
Because I know people that are busy, they're out and about, the hikers and all this. They haven't been able to do anything. They're just sitting there eating, essentially, filling their face.
That's exactly what's happened to me. Boredom, eating, eating, it's all the time,
Easy done, man. Easy done. Tell us this ghost story, though. You got a ghost story as well.
Oh, well, I want to thank all the staff in the hospital for being so nice to us.
Right.
Because I wasn't very nice to them, because I'm not used to hospitals.
Did they take away your Mars bar from the drawer?
Oh, yeah.
Thought they might.
A few boxes of them. Anyway, Julie and Lorraine and all the rest of them, and all the rest of them. It's the consultants. I had a physiotherapist there.
Which hospital?
QE.
Well done, Queen Elizabeth.
Ward
Thanks.
1, Ward 12.
Thanks for looking after him, Ward 1.
What happened was the physiotherapist actually came out with a mate to my house and put loads of little bits of aids in the house for us as well.
Oh, that's
Starting to get you early, which was
brilliant.
Real nice touch, you know.
That was lovely, especially when people aren't crossing the threshold a lot.
Well, that's it. And people are scared of that people at the minute.
That's good. It's sad.
But what happened was, when I came home, I was sitting with my ex, and I've got a bungalow now.
Right.
Ex and her boyfriend, funny enough, and there was 4 knocks come on the front window.
Right.
4 steady knocks, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, the same thing had happened up the hospital. 4 knocks came on the window, right?
Right.
And you know who knocks 4 times, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, at the hospital, I was on the 3rd floor.
Oh, that's good. Whoa.
So I've had all the lights on since.
Now, hang on, I have to mention this complex relationship where is this that your agreement with the lass you used to be with was, look, I'll leave you on one condition, that you bring all your boyfriends here and let me watch. Is this what's going on?
Oh, of course. It's 2021, you know, not 1950 or something. Oh, well, you must have done the same yourself, no?
Well, just a weekend. No, but it's just one of those things that I'm one of those people that an ex is an ex. And you leave them where they are and you get on with your life, hopefully. That's the plan.
Lad, I don't want any more of them, you know what I mean? So,
no. How come you're still that friendly with them, though? Because that actually is a stretch.
It's weird, you know, because, we've always been friends, me and the ex, you know.
Right.
We've always been friends. The friendship's never stopped, you know.
But not good enough to get over the troubles that come when you're living together, kind of thing.
Well, I've had, like, a few bad relationships, you know.
Right.
And, like, you know, dirty strokes, pullings and all that. I decided I just didn't want any more of it, you know.
Enough.
So, but friendships are it, but the rest of it, no.
Right, gotcha.
You know, I'd rather gamble for all the hassle, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there's a lot to be said for it, absolutely. Hey!
As long as the musher didn't knock on the window doesn't turn up, I'll be all right, mate.
Hey, well,
I might speak to you again, I might speak to this son.
You never know. Hey, but good luck, and I hope you get well soon, man. Thanks, Cliff.
Right on, mate.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye. David Charles just sent a thing in. My mum has loved to hear you for years. She's not in the best of health. Injections in her eyes, losing her sight, and her hearing's not the best. But a whole week is waiting for you on Sunday nights. Can you give her a shock and say hi to A-Bridge Usher? A-Bridge Usher. Hello, A-Bridge. It's an odd name. Might be Bridget Usher. Hello to you, and thank you very much for your kindness over the years, and I hope your health improves. Artie Doo-Too, I broke my finger in a car door. I heard it crunch. Worst pain was getting my fingernail pulled off in hospital. That stung. I hate that. A few times playing football, a big toenail would go, and at some point, after it waggled a bit and you tugged it on your sock, you'd have to do I'm going to have to bite the bullet. Horrific. Tell me all of those stories. You say court stories. There's a million court stories. Do tell. Kevin Green, I caught our lass 30 years ago. What a catch. Hey, Kevin, I think he's in with a chance tonight. 0191 488 3188. Let's can right up the bank. We've got Joy, who is in Wickham. Hello, Joy.
Hi, you all right?
Yes, I'm good, mate. What you got for me?
Well, so I've got a court story for you.
Good lad.
It's got to be a tame one, though, because my mother listens to this show and she's already on edge. But when I was a lot younger than I am right now,
yeah.
and a teenager, I was in sixth form, and I decided my parents went away for a wedding in America.
Wow.
And my sister was looking after the house, and I went to go and stay with my grandma.
Right.
And then one night I decided, I'll have a few people around. My sister was saying, just as long as it's a few, it's fine. Me and my boyfriend will be there. It's all going to be all right. So, obviously, I invited a few people, and then a few more people turned up, and a few more people turned up. But it seemed to be all right.
Right.
But then the drinks were flowing, and obviously when you're a young teenager that's not used to drinking.
Yeah.
I thought I drank a bit too much, and then I ended up being sick in the bathroom.
Right.
And then a group of lads came that I've been in school with all my life, that I wasn't really good friends with, turned up. and they were all getting a bit drunk and a bit leery downstairs, and I could hear them, but I just thought it was all right. And the house had just been decorated with a nice new cream carpet, cream walls. And they decided to bring red wine. And next thing I know, the music's blasting. Someone opens the red wine and it goes all up the walls and all over the back of my mum's Julian MacDonald rugs. I thought, well, this rug's really expensive. What I'll do is I'll fold it up and put it by the sofa so it doesn't get ruined.
Right.
And it got ruined. And then the next day, I went up to my grandma's. The next day, I was thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get in trouble here." But no one's going to know. My sister's not going to grass us up or anything.
Right. I mean, but hey, in fairness, you know, the rug's knackered. It's up the wall. There's sick walked into the bathroom carpet or in the rugs or whatever. You must have known they would not just walk in the house and go, "This doesn't look normal, but it's okay." I mean, you know what parents are like.
I know, but I thought I'd be clever and be able to sort it before they got back.
All right.
I mean, you know, the next day crying your eyes out when you're like rubbing the walls to get all this wine off. And getting all like the Vanish and the 1001 and everything. And I thought, all right, I'll get a carpet cleaner.
Right, and you also do that thing where you think, I don't think I can smell the sick anymore. Where's the Febreze?
Get the Febreze out, you know, get the carpet cleaner.
Gotcha.
But I was at my grandma's, and my grandma didn't say anything, so I was like, right, I'm getting away with it. I'll be able to sort it before my parents get back.
Right, yeah.
Then my grandma got a phone call, and then my grandma put down the phone and looked at us, and you know, and you just know.
Right.
You've been caught out and you're in trouble. My grandma went, so what happened last night then?
And this is from America. She rang your gran because somebody obviously tipped her off. Was it your sister?
No, it was my next door neighbour. Heard everything going on.
Right.
And then my sister, to save her own skin, threw us under the bus.
Yeah.
And then my grandma's, and then, you know, it's just a dreaded thought of waiting for them to come back from America.
Did you manage to get the house pretty much done or not?
But I thought if I got caught out at this point, it's pointless trying to sort it out.
Oh, so you just let it. Oh, right. Okay. So
What
did your parents do? I mean.
Well, luckily I was doing a school musical at the time, so I knew they were coming back from America at a certain time when I was at school, so I stayed behind for the rehearsals for the school musical, and I stayed back as long as I could. But I've never, ever seen a face of, I'm not angry, but I'm really disappointed in my life.
To be honest, I think that's worse than being shouted at. You know, I'm disappointed in your face.
Because you start telling yourself off.
It's kind of that. I had a party once, and the same kind of thing happens because as soon as word is out that his parents are aware he's having a party, all the people you don't want there come.
Yeah.
They tend to come there even. They wait till the party's going, then they ring the bell, and somebody else will answer the door and in the parge, that kind of thing. And somebody was sick in a fish tank. How do you even start?
How do you replace the fish?
Well, the fish were fine. They were eating it. They thought it was, all their dinners had come at once. So they were having a go at getting rid of it. It was just, there was a surface and they were falling down. And it just wasn't funny. And the neighbours dobbed me in the same way. Because the neighbours, unbeknown to you, parents always say, keep an eye on the house, will you, while we're away, even if you've got, especially if they got kids living still.
Yeah.
So that was always going to fail. But you're quite right. I'm really disappointed in your look. It hurts more. If they yelled at you for 20 minutes, then you could say, it's over, the air can clear, that's all right. But the disappointed look goes on for about a week. It's not.
See, the thing with me is, though, I'm very govy and I chat back, and I can never be wrong. My mouth gets me in trouble all of the time, as my mum will tell us.
No, absolutely.
You learn when to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, but it's hard, isn't it hard?
It's hard, though, you get yourself all hyped up.
But I've got an excuse. We don't want to hear an excuse. There's no, bite your tongue.
Well.
Bite your tongue, crack on. That's what you got to do.
And so it got sorted in the end, though. But I think that's just the worst getting caught story in my life.
So far.
So far.
There'll be more to come, man. No worries. Hey, Joy, thank you very much for coming on. Good call.
Cheers.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye. The getting caught for having a party story. We've all had one of them. Good day, Northeast from Brisbane, Australia, from Peter Hooliston, alias Hooley. Well, we've sent a lot of hoolies down there. And Samantha James, hi, my dog ate all my veal that I did for dinner for my girlfriend, and I left it for a second. When I came back, it was gone, but she left me all of the mash and veg, which was good of her. Yeah. Katie, I tell a lie. It's K. Ilderton Ditchburn, probably with a hyphen. I was caught on camera at a garage on Sunderland Road when I drove away and didn't pay for me petrol. I had loads of little notes put through my door by the police asking me to get in touch. Oh, blimey. Did you do it on purpose or did you just forget? Because I once saw something quite funny, and this was along the bottom end of Low Fell, you know, when you're coming out to the A19 to head down towards Sunderland. And a guy was driving along, and he still had the petrol pump in the petrol thing, driving along the road with the cable hanging. Yeah, put the thing back. Vicky, I caught my now ex-husband with another woman on Christmas Day 2019 when at 10 p.m. he just left, walked out on me and the kids, no explanation, nothing. By 1:30 Boxing Day, I'd worked it all out and was outside her house, sitting in my friend's car. She thought I'd gone mad and was convinced I was wrong. After many hours, we watched him leave her house at 6:30 a.m. and the rest is history. Vicky Burnell there. And Vicky, I bet you're better off without the tosspot. 0191 488 3188. Let's go to Gateshead. We've got another court story. This is Edwin. Hello, Edwin.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, mate.
All right?
I'm champion. Thanks for coming on. What's your story?
When I was about 10, I got caught short on a Beacon School field. I didn't know where that is.
I do, absolutely. Uh-huh.
And I had to pay up against the rugby post, and I got mine caught in my zip.
Oh.
And I ran to about with him about 10 or something, and my dad my mother was saying, "Oh, so you don't have trying to show her," and my dad just yanked it to come loose.
Oh!
So I put my thumb there now when I got to the toilet. I was like, that's just force of habit now.
Oh, dear. Hey, do you know, people underrate that. I've only ever done it once because you never do it twice.
No.
That's horrific. And did yours, because you know when your dad just yanked a damn thing, because that's the worst thing you can do. But in fairness, when you try and do it gently, nothing moves. Not a thing moves. And it's just, if you've got a cut down there, you know, if you get the cut afterwards and it starts to scab up, what some women might not realise is that part of our body, it's a bit like a trombone. It can be very, very little, but it can also do the it can do that as well. And when it does the scab just breaks up and bleeds, and just not attractive. Not attractive.
Oh no, never again, mate.
And also, the funny thing about it is, you cannot put it away because it's there.
Yeah. Oh, I was sore for a while.
And also, you don't want to show it to your mum. You know, it's like, Mum, Mum, I've got a problem. Oh, have you? We are home? No, not quite me homework. It's whoop. Lob it out. Have a look at that.
And about the COVID thing, people complain on it. You see it on the telly. It's making up. Like people whinging doing the country not being on hold and stuff. What about the doctors and nurses though?
Right.
They work really hard having to run the clock to try and keep it under control.
No, for sure.
You always seem to be stopping to thinking about them, don't they?
Well, it's just, I think we're all a bit selfish. When you were always thinking, if it was this time last year, I'd be... Well, I mean, you kind of say that now, because this time last year we were in the same bucket, weren't we, really? But, no, I think it's easy to think, I wish. Bottom line is, let's get to the end of it and break free and get life back again. Would be really sweet to think we can do that.
I would. My son was on the night and he was on about Newcastle United guy getting beat again. He says, why don't give the job to Graham Jones, cut the wage bill and give the job to him? You know what I mean? Give the job to him full time, just cut the wage bill.
Well, you see, to me, I look at stuff like, and I know Steve Bruce, you think he's a local lad, you give him a chance, he's had an amazing career and what have you, and I can't deny, great player, played for a great team at the time, and yet teams like Bournemouth, and I know they're doing worse, obviously, than Newcastle, they're not in the Premiership anymore, but they can attract somebody like Thierry Henry. And Newcastle are talking about people that have never been a big, successful manager before.
I think he just lacks confidence. I think that's what it is. He just seems to doesn't have the oomph, you know, like say the big names in the game, like obviously the biggest names like Alex Ferguson, and like people like him and Arsenal's manager, Arsene Wenger, Arsenal's manager, and people like that, Bobby Robson, even Kevin Keegan, he's a big name in the game.
Absolutely.
But you know, if you get somebody like Kevin Keegan back or somebody, like he would come well.
I don't know whether Kevin would again. But hey, bottom line with it is, Newcastle's a massive team. They should have a name, a character that's as big as the club. But that needs to come from the chairman, doesn't it? And with the potential takeover, this is like the longest, slow-running story that seems to be going nowhere, but it's still running. You know, there's still a chance. And every 20 minutes you think, could it? Oh, no, it's not yet. Oh, could it? No.
I think Sunderland are going to be going places with the manager where the owner they've got now.
Yeah.
They're going to be going places, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks it. Yeah. But then again, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And I'd love to think that it would, because if you look at the players that Newcastle have got, hand on heart, and it doesn't matter how loyal or black and white you are, if you look at the other teams and say, how many Newcastle players would get in any other team in the Premiership? And you're talking maybe Fulham, maybe West Brom, but there's not many that could say they'd walk into a Leicester City or a... Do you know what I mean? It's...
I think we haven't got many games left to keep us out, but...
Scary times.
We're dropping the bottom three, like.
Scary times, man. Anyway, hey, good hearing from you, Edwin. Take it easy, man. All the best. 01914 883188. We're getting lots of calls on. Make sure you're one of them. Give us a ring. 01914 883188 about anything. But if you've been caught out, we'd kind of love that. A caught short, or you caught something, you captured something. What was it that you caught? Or what did you catch your pets doing? We want them too. Jamie is with us, and he is in South Shields. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, mate. How are you? All right?
I'm good. Now, I know a little bit about you because I received an email about something pretty special. And this is the Tour de Charity, which sounds fantastic, but you need a bit of help. First of all, tell us about the charity. What's it all about? You're helping good people, are you?
Yeah, so basically it all came about in the first lockdown.
Right.
One of my good friends, he found out that his daughter had just been diagnosed with grade 3 astrocytoma.
Oh, yeah, right.
And the tumour was located too close to our brainstem, so it ultimately makes it inoperable. So I decided I wanted to do something for him, and try and like ease things for him. And so I don't know why I thought I would try and build a team and cycle 590 mile, but anyway, that's what we're doing. So we're cycling from Berwick Castle all the way down to Dover Beach. We're doing that from the 30th of April to the 7th of May. And we're obviously that's only a week period, so we'll average out like 85, 90 mile a day.
Right.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the background on it.
Fantastic. It's great, but why did you pick Berwick Castle of all places along by the river? Because that's a cool little venue.
Yeah, so what I originally did was I planned a route that was going to go directly down the country, and I thought, well, that's not enough. I think it worked out something like 350 miles, something like that. So I thought to myself, how can I make it a little bit tougher on ourselves? And I've decided we'll go the full coast of England, like all the way down our coast, like through Shields, all the way down, and it accumulated like 590 miles. But we decided, obviously the last town in England being Berwick, we thought we'd just go from there. What better landmark than the castle?
That's brilliant. No, it's a really good choice as well. Also, it's picturesque, and you've got the big viaduct in front of you and everything. So you got great photo opportunity to get in the press and all of that kind of stuff too, and all of that helps. So how long in total is it going to take? And will you end up with hemorrhoids on the end of all of that?
So we've planned. We've took a lot of planning. I mean, the team that I've got, they're like monumental in helping out as well. So with all the planning we've done, we've planned it, like I say, over a 7-day period. And we're going to, obviously, each leg, it varies, the mileage. So we're going to average out, hopefully, about 10 hours a day cycling. Some days being easier than others. And hopefully we'll get the miles racked in. And if there is any hemorrhoids, we're a close bunch of lads like so. There'll be a couple of Vaseline out, I think. Like, so.
The thing about this is, though, you need a bit of help. I gather that you could really do with a kind of emergency vehicle, one of these support vehicle things.
Yeah, exactly. So we originally had a vehicle in place, and that was going to carry the bikes and obviously the team back up the country from Dover.
Right.
But obviously with coronavirus and stuff, the company's actually had to cease trading and get rid of all their vehicles. So it's sort of left in the lurch a little bit with getting back up the country.
So the bottom line is, has anybody got a vehicle that could be used as a support vehicle that essentially is just to kind of follow you down?
Yeah, pretty much. So the vehicle, all it would be doing, it would be stopping in different intervals, 15 to 20 mile, just RVing with us on the bikes, and then heading off to the next location. But it's more so
on the way back.
More so trying to get back up from Dover. You say we just need a 9-seater, and that's what we're looking for.
Right. So if anybody's got a vehicle that's a 9-seater that you can stick a few bikes in the back of, so you're talking like small bus, really, aren't you, or a large Luton kind of vehicle?
Yeah, I mean the bikes are handled. One of my good friends, he runs a courier business, and he's offered to bring the bikes up for free, like just obviously for being charity, like so.
Great.
It's mainly just getting us lads back up the country that we're struggling for.
So minibus kind of is more what we're talking about here. 9-seater. Has anybody got a 9-seater vehicle? And do you want to get involved? If you could drive them, that would be stunning. And let's face it, there's a load of people sitting around not actually doing anything, and an awful lot of bus companies not doing much either. This would be a great way. Give them a little bit of profile at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit of mutual back scratching never hurts.
That's it. And anyone that does like try and help out, we'll obviously advertise their business through our platforms and any banners and flags we've got, like so.
Because I mean, if you think about this and doing something good for somebody else at a time when everybody's life's upside down is a very cool thing, and deserves your support. If you could spare a vehicle or you want to get involved with this, be tremendous for anybody to do that. On the back end of it, I just look at it purely from the point, would I like to drive this? You know, and I'm thinking just in a car, let alone on a bike. Would I like to drive to Dover and back?
It's a task for anyone, isn't it, really? I mean.
Well, no. But on the other hand, if you're going to do the coastal route, the full length, what a great adventure that would be for somebody.
That's it, yeah. It's seen it, isn't it?
I just think that's great. And how many fish and chips can you have? Travelling around and the odd whelk and a few prawns. Come on, if you've got a vehicle.
More the pub's been open, like, to be honest.
Oh well, I hope so. When's it happening?
30th of April. We set off from.
You got a chance. I think it's going to be pubs outdoors. I think.
Aye, that's not a problem.
They're hoping we can cope with that. Hope for good weather. If we get anybody giving us a call that can help, please ring Chris right now on 0191 488 3188. We'll do the best we can for you, Jamie, and respect you.
Smashing.
Thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you very much, mate.
Appreciate it.
That.
Bye-bye. Aye, nice people doing good stuff. And what a great reason. A friend with a child who can't be helped. So let's raise somebody to help those that we can. That's just it's a lovely... You talk about a shortage of love in this land. There's a bit of good stuff going on out there. Time for a piece of music. Let's talk to a star now. Talked about the 4 knocks on the window. Well, I wonder if Huey Lewis has ever had that kind of thing. Have you ever seen a ghost or had any kind of spooky experience?
I've had several, interesting experiences, sort of deja vu things, but never anything scary. Every once in a while, I get the impression that I've been here before, but that's about it.
Right. Some people would say that that's the potential for a previous life. Do you ever feel that you have lived before?
I don't actually feel that so much, but I know that there's, I'm not a conventionally religious person, but I am spiritual in that I think there's something going on out there, but I certainly don't know what it is.
that vaccines are effective in reducing hospitalisations and deaths among those who've been jabbed. Prime Minister Boris Johnson's due to give more details tomorrow. Restaurant and bar owner Adam Handling says he can't afford a fourth lockdown.
It's about £30,000 every time I have to reopen my restaurant group and then shut it because of all the perishable goods and that sort of thing. So this stop-start go-kart is not good for us at all. We're just chucking money down the drain when we have to be saving it to make sure that we are protected if we hit another speed bump.
The Health Secretary says the first dose of coronavirus vaccine appears to reduce transmission of it by about 2/3. Matt Hancock revealed a new target of offering a jab to all adults in the UK by the end of July. More than 100 firefighters are trying to put out a significant blaze at a warehouse in Greater Manchester. The fire in Denton was reported just before 2 p.m. this afternoon. In sport, Manchester United have beaten Newcastle 3-1 to keep the pressure on Premier League leaders Manchester City. They're second, 10 points behind their rivals, who claimed a 1-0 victory over Arsenal. United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says his team deserves credit for following up a tricky away tie in Europe with another top-flight win.
For me, the boys are really focused, really good at recovering mentally and physically. It's not easy, I know that. We played Thursday night and come back here, and that's maybe why we needed 45 minutes to get going.
Leicester beat Aston Villa 2-1, while West Ham beat Tottenham by the same score. Rangers eased to a 4-1 win over Dundee United to move another step closer to the Scottish Premiership title. Celtic suffered a shock 1-0 defeat to Ross County. From Sky News, I'm Daryl Jackson.
Cheers, Daryl. Alan Robson with you. Greatest Hits Radio North East. Thanks for being with us. Wherever you happen to be upon planet Earth, if you're watching, tell us where you're watching from, and we'll give you a mention. Happy to do that. However, let us head to Birmingham, where we've got Samantha. Hello, Samantha.
Hello.
Hello, good to hear from you. So I gather you've got a bit of a court story. What did you catch?
Well, it's a bit of a mixed-up story, to be fair.
Uh-huh.
Because I'll start off. I went on holiday. I'm on holiday for a few months.
Right.
And I said to my boyfriend, look, should we split up now? Because I don't know if I'm going to come back.
Right.
He said, no, I'm going to wait for you. Anyway, can you guess what happened?
Yeah, you waited about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
What happened then?
What happened? He jumped on my speech.
Right.
Yeah. But the problem is me.
What do you mean?
Because I'm doing the tit for tat shit now.
Oh, right. Well, that's never a good idea, is it, though? I mean, if it's not going to happen, you got to start afresh with somebody that's worth keeping. I mean, just doing stuff to upset him's that's not a great thing.
But I know. And that's the thing. I love him and I want it to work. But I can't get over him with her.
Right. No, I hear that. And it's a tough thing. But the thing is, you know what it feels like for somebody to do the dirty on you. So when you play other men just so that he can kind of say, oh, look, she's with such and such, you're ultimately going to do the same thing with the guy you're with, which makes you no better than him. That's not great, babe.
Oh, no.
So when you say you love him, you love him so you want to hurt him. Because the two things don't run side by side, you know.
I think that is what I know it sounds mad, and the way you've just said it, I think that is right.
Yeah. It might just be, if you just try to get him out of your head and say, hey, if it's meant to be somewhere down the line, maybe things, you know, and if he realises how the harm that he's done and he's prepared to say sorry and try and get your forgiveness, maybe just leave it a while. See how it goes, and if it really is meant to be, it'll happen. But just don't force it, and don't play other people, because as I say, that's just it's spreading the misery, isn't it? You know, it's just
I know it is. I know it is. I'm not that person.
Yeah, but you see, when you feel bitter and somebody's hurt you as deep as that, you
don't want to hurt him, and
you do some crazy.
No,
you do crazy stuff. I get it. But try and do it the clever way rather than the instinct to...
What do you reckon is the clever way?
Well, the clever way is just to leave it and don't play him by, I'll go out with this guy because he will hate it. Just don't do that. If you want to go out with somebody for a night, cool, go ahead, do your thing. But don't do it to get back at the other guy. Just do it because you like the person that you're going out with. You don't do it just using people as a tool. That makes you a tool. Do you know what I mean? So just try and do it the clever way and say, okay, we're taking a break. If it doesn't happen, it's not meant to be.
Because you've been together a long time, 15 years.
But you see, if you were together for 15 years and he loved and respected you... Yeah, well, you say that, but if he loved and respected you, he would never have done the dirty in the first place. And if you went back with him... But I
wouldn't have done it, would I?
Well, no, you wouldn't, but he started it and you kind of did the daft thing on the back of it that a lot of people have done before, so I'm not judging you. It's just, if he really cared, and let's say you got back with him, could you trust him again?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck with that. I hope it works. Well, I just think every time he went out, and if he said, I'm going with my mates too, you'd always be thinking, oh, hang on, is he going with his mates?
I know what you're saying there, because with Friday, he was just going to the shop. I'm like, please hurry up, please be quick.
Yeah, and you'd be thinking if he was an hour late, who's he seeing, what's he doing? You know, it's just you get that little worm in your head that's always there thinking, is he doing what he did the last time?
Something niggling my ear.
I know. Hey, well, I hope it works out for you, Sam. Thanks for coming on, babe. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, darling. Bye-bye. Birmingham, you see, doesn't matter where you are in this grand nation. Cheat's a cheat. Maureen, our neighbour, had a stroke but still managed to grass me up by miming me smoking and pointing at me in front of me mum and dad while I was trying to deny it. Yeah. Donna Marie Bushby, she's got a hyphen. Couple of things first. My son, he was being looked after by his grandparents. He pinched the house keys, our house keys, whilst we were away and invited a few of his friends around for a hot tub party. He didn't have a clue that we weren't using it and it would be in sleep mode. A few days later, we came home and I knew something was not right about the house cushions, the curtains, but all I could smell was feisty wetness. 10 towels pushed right in the bottom of the washing basket, as if you're not going to spot 10 soaking towels in a washing basket. I can tell you a story. One of my previous producers, obviously not as good as Hollywood McShane, he told me a tale. He decided they were going to go away for a weekend and they booked a cottage somewhere up in Northumberland. I don't know where it is. I wouldn't tell you anywhere. And they had a hot tub. And they switched the hot tub on, heated up the water. Everybody piled in. There was about 12 of them, men, lads and lasses. And when they all came home, they all ended up with rashes and skin conditions and spots and flaky bits, because apparently the hot tub was not to be used because it had been used for the entire season by people staying in the cottage, and it was supposed to be left where it was with the top on until the owners cleaned it to start it for the new season. They left a note, like a piece of paper on the table, that went missing. Somebody piled all the crap on top of it and chucked it away. Didn't bother reading it. So they all ended up with lumps and boils and rashes all over themselves, which kind of serves them right. Trying to have a good time? How dare you? 0191 488 3188. I want your court stories. I told you when we played that piece of music by Huey Lewis in the news that we had some great news. Let me share it with you now. Ricky, who's a good lad, a solid fella, says, I'm happy to help with the minibus for the chap this evening. Coach 2 Holidays, that's Ricky's company. And he says, it will be a 16-seater minibus or mini coach with a driver, and we will be happy to support it. Coach 2, just amazing. Coach number 2 Holidays. When this company gets back to, and life returns, just remember Coach 2 Holidays. If you're a company and you can use them. Good people, helping with charity. Ricky, thank you very much. That's the power of love. Night Owl's right there. Hi, Alan. I got short coming back from the pub and had to go for a number 2 behind a bus stop. It was okay until the 21 double-decker. Yeah, when you're squatting and making that face, you know the face we make. It's not a good thing. And Glenn Hunter Fitzgerald, he has to have written a number of books, says, the hotel I used to manage had 4 hot tubs. I would never use a hotel hot tub now. Glenn, what's the secret? I remember somebody telling me that they had a wee in a hot tub, but I presumed that you change the water. It's not the same water, surely. They'd use like the same water for loads of different people going in there. You don't even want to... I'm not a big fan of sharing me bath with anybody, let alone... Let's have the next people coming in and we'll just heat the water back up again. This sounds a bit dodgy. So what's the crack with a hot tub? You should come on, we'll talk about hot tubs. We got a 20-minute sketch there, I'm sure. Anyway, let's move on. Vicky from Durham is... got another court story. Hi, Vicky.
Hiya.
Hello, darling. What tale do you have to tell for us all?
Mine was the one you read out about catching a husband on Christmas Day.
Oh, it became a drama, though. Did you have any idea that he was at it?
No, it's literally gone on for 3 days.
Right.
3 days, and he just... Christmas Day, 10 o'clock on the night, we'd been to family. We were allowed to go to family then.
Right.
We'd been to family, and he said he was gone.
But coming up to Christmas, you know, at Christmas you're shopping for your friends, shopping for each other. Yeah, but you're doing all the standard Christmas things.
Yeah.
There was not a hint that this guy was...
Nothing at all. Nothing. He'd been a bit, you know what it's like coming up to Christmas. I mean, we've got 6 children. So coming up to Christmas, it's hectic, you're working, you think, oh my God, am I going to get everything in time?
Yeah, sure.
You know, so you do, you get a bit tetchy, but nothing that hadn't been for the past 12 Christmases before that.
Right. So you felt it was just, we're coming up to another Christmas, let's hope it's a good one, kind of.
You know, there's presents to do, there's shopping to do, you're still working, you're trying to fit everything in. So Christmas Eve, he was a bit off, and I just thought, you know, it's just because it's Christmas.
Yeah. Stressful time.
Yeah. Christmas Day, I thought there's something up, but I would never, Alan, in a million years have thought my husband's sleeping with another woman.
Had he been... I'm not getting nitty-gritty with you, but the weeks up to Christmas, had things been normal in the bed department? Oh.
Yeah, everything was totally normal.
Give over.
Run of the mill, he was going to work, I was going to work, kids going to school.
Right.
You know, everything, every last thing was normal.
So
now,
when he went out, and you know, you mentioned that you got your pal and you got in the car, and you...
What happened was, I'd said to her, I said, you're going to have to find us a 24-hour garage. You're going to have to. I need some jobs. I can't cope. Where's he gone?
Right.
But if he said he'd gone to a friend's house.
Right.
So I'd rang said friend, and he said, oh, he's just gone for a walk. That's right, he was totally... I mean, I've known his friend longer than he's known him. I've known him since I was a young girl.
So did you know he was telling a porky?
It wasn't his friend. His friend, as far as he was concerned, he said, look, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to clear my head.
Right.
Never even questioned it.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, he's not answering his phone. And I'll be honest with you, Alan, I was shocked because I was thinking, oh my God, what if he's done something stupid?
Has he had an accident or something? Yeah.
Has he done something to himself? Or, you know, so I'm panicking and I'm thinking, if this continues and I can't get hold of him, I'm going to have to phone the police.
Right.
Because it's out of character. He's just up 6 and walked out the house, and now he's walked out of our friend's house, and he's not answering his phone, and, you know, all kinds of things go through your head.
Sure.
Like this.
But because there'd been...
with someone else.
But there hadn't been a big row or anything, so you wouldn't even think, oh, hang on, is there somebody else involved here?
No, it made a passing comment the night before to my oldest daughter, I mean, she's 21 now,
right,
about, if this keeps going, I'll be gone by the new year. But she just put it down to the way he was, you know, he's done me a bit, you know.
Anybody in a relationship's had that kind of thing.
Yeah, and never even gave it a second thought. So my friend, like say 1:30 in the morning, well, it was before then, about 12:30 in the morning, driving us to the 24-hour garage, and we were coming back, and it was just like, suddenly I got this, like, enlightenment, and I said, he's sleeping with somebody else. And she looked at me in the car and she went, don't be so stupid. I've never heard anything so stupid. You two are like the golden couple. You know, he wouldn't do that. And I just knew, I could feel it in the pit of my stomach.
But also, when there's so... And all, I presume all the children are his, are they? The 6?
No, my oldest 3 aren't. They're
From previous relationship.
Yeah.
But he's got 3 children. It's not like he's not made a commitment to you because...
Yeah, we were married. We'd been married 11 years.
Oh, my goodness. So how did you know where to go to prove to yourself that he was... How did you know where this woman was then?
Well, we sat in the car and she's saying, "You're wrong." And I said, "No, I'm not. I know I can feel it." I said, "No man leaves his nest unless he's got another one feathered somewhere else, basically." You know, it doesn't happen. So, yeah, my friend was like, "Well, where would you go?"
Oh, no, baby's up. Hang on, look after the bairn for a second, and then we'll pick it up.
Our brother's got her now. Our older brother's got her.
Oh, that's great. Okay, good.
She likes to go between every room. Just to make sure everyone's here.
Absolutely, right.
So I said, "No man leaves. They don't. Unless they've got somewhere to go, they don't leave. No one does."
Yeah, you're very wise.
So she said, "Well, who would it be? Come on, think, who would it be?" And there was only one person that came to my mind.
And why did she come to mind, though? Because there'd been no hint.
Because they worked together. Now, my husband wasn't a big fella to go out drinking or out with his pals. So,
right.
you know, I knew it had to be someone he worked with. And she was the only one I knew that was capable of it. That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
She was the only one.
So you knew where she lived, even though she was...
I knew where she lived, yeah.
And so you drove there.
We just drove down the street, literally. You know, we drove and we sat. And my friend says, "Well, go and knock on the door. Knock on the door and it'll put your mind at rest."
Right.
Now, I started to then doubt myself a bit.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, she's got a burn in that house.
Yeah.
But I start banging on the door now. It's like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and also you'd be if there was nothing happening for you to be knocking on the door, you'd look like a cracker, wouldn't you?
And I'm thinking, wait, you know, you kind of do that. Poor Ben's in bed. It's Christmas, and you know.
Yeah.
And in the back of my mind, I'm still going, I know he's in there.
Yeah.
I just know he's in there. Yeah. So we just sat and we waited and we waited and we waited, and then at 20 to 7, my friend went, "Oh my God, no!" And as I looked over, there he was coming out of our front door.
Boom. Got him. So what happened? Did you confront?
Oh, God, yeah.
Stupid question, really, wasn't it, that one?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I think the most bizarre thing, I'm 38 now, and the most bizarre thing I've ever heard a person say to me is, "Go down home," and this was said Lassie, "Go down home, put the kettle on, make a cup of tea, and I'll come down and we'll talk about it."
Oh, right.
I don't want to have a cup of tea with you.
No.
You know, I don't want to discuss it with you.
No.
I just want to know why my husband's in your bed.
Yeah.
On Christmas night. Now, then, I mean, I did take him back, I'll be honest, I did take him back. But then there would just be another lie. So I would rather someone be honest with us and hurt us than hurt us with lies.
That's a wise way to look at it. Are you loved up now? Yeah. Is there anybody else in your life? Are you?
No, I've got no interest
in
anyone.
He spoiled it for you. Sorry, I'm sorry about that.
Traumatised us that much now.
Yeah.
And then we tried for about 10 months, we moved, and it was the effect it had on all my kids and everything, you know, like the night he left, my oldest that I've got with him, she was only 9, 10. And she was crying on the bed saying, "Daddy, don't leave. Please don't leave us. Please, please."
It's the impact on the whole family, absolutely.
Everyone. I moved away from the place that made me home and everything, you know, to try and get away with it, because we all lived in such a small
community.
area. We were guaranteed to bump into each other.
Sure.
But the worst part, I'd say, would have to be, I had to go to her to get the truth.
Oh, jeepers.
You know.
It's icky stuff, isn't it?
You know, and it's like, and your previous caller, when she was saying she'd been with someone else to get back at her, the whole thought, at that time when it happened to me, the whole thought of another person even looking at me or touching it would make my skin crawl.
It's awful that a man's done that to you. And I'm really sorry.
I mean, people would ring me, because a lot of my friends are male, and they'd be like, "Oh, he doesn't deserve you, you should be doing this, you should be doing..." And I kind of felt guilty. I felt like I was doing wrong. Does that make sense?
No, it does,
You know,
absolutely.
And it was so traumatic for me. The only way I can describe it is, it was like someone had died. It was like I was grieving for someone. That was the only way I can describe it.
You see, when we did this court thing, I knew that we'd get some that are really close to the bone. So I thank you for ringing in with this, because I know how close to you, because you will always feel that raw about something like that. I got caught similarly when somebody knocked on my door and said, "Your wife, my husband. If you want to know more, ring this number." I mean, how cold is that? You know, so I know I kind of get it where you're coming from with, and once you feel that raw, it stays with you, doesn't it? That bitterness.
I just felt completely lost, where I was like, what do I do now? I've been with this man for like...
Yeah, do you want to start again and do all of that dancing? You've got children, and how would that work? Nightmare.
So for the sake of, 3 days of a bit humble, it cost everyone everything, basically.
Awful.
You know, my kids had to move schools, and I think sometimes people don't realise the effect it has. It's like a snowball effect.
Absolutely.
It's nothing.
It knocks onward to everybody that you know and everybody that's around you, and especially the children.
My family, his family, the kids, our friends, everything.
Horrible.
It's horrible.
Vicky, thank you very much, though.
You're more than welcome.
Absolute respect to you, and good luck. Thanks for sharing. Take care, darling. Bye-bye. What a lovely... Why would you leave a lovely woman like that, especially when you got bands and stuff? Tough. It's a tough shout. Okay, let's have a superstar pop in, because the stars come out at night on Greatest Hits. Kool and the Gang talking about their parents.
Your parents must have been a little freaked by this, you know, expecting you to become doctors initially and buy them a house and what have you. Then you're taking a chance on music where, frankly, the vast majority of people that work in the music business never reach the heights. They must have been a little bit concerned, surely.
There was concern. I mean, it was an up and down thing, but once they saw that we might have a shot at it, and the support was there. You know,
Right.
Okay, just make sure you guys, learn a lot and do a good job while you're out there. And our parents was close to all of us. You know, like my mother and George's mother. She would. If I did something wrong, she would get on me just like my mother would get on. The parents for all of it.
This is the home of Alan Robson's Night Owls.
With the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And welcome back. We got so much for you, and more stars to come out at night. Now, we have also... We have the Night Owls mug, and on top of that, Sue has sent another one of her... I'm not going to open it up because I'll just have to wrap it up again. Another one of... This time it's a key ring with little owls and radios and such on. If you would like to win that, or those, we have 4 clues. Now, last week, I gave you 4 clues to a film. Going to give you 4 more clues to a film loaded full of greatest hits. The first clue is this: a bay in the northeast where you can enjoy a holiday. Okay? There's a holiday park and various other things. In a bay in the northeast, you can enjoy a holiday. What bay? Write it down. If not, scour a map of the coast until you find one that works for you. 3 more clues to come. When you hear the 4th clue, give us a call, see if you can work it out. Meanwhile, I've got so many emails as well. I'm going to share some of these. Chris the Truck says, when I used to drive the bin wagons, there was a street where you had to reverse down the back lane. At the end of the lane was about 20 bins for the lads to load on. So I'm sat there looking in my mirror to see how the lads are getting on, when I see out the corner of my eye a pair of curtains whip open to reveal a naked lady. Now, it shames me to say what he's written here, but I'm just going to share you his message. Knockers out and everything. Dear. But isn't it funny? When women are naked, their knockers are out and everything. But she disappeared almost as quickly as she appeared. There you go. That's a story from Chris the Truck, a court story. Got a few more to tell you, one from Pooley Bridge. But first, Scott from Newcastle, I gather, has a ghost story. Hi, Scott.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you for coming on. What's your ghost story then?
I'm a bit nervous, so bear with us.
Absolutely.
Back in 2019, my sister died of a drug overdose.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. That's awful.
It's awful, it's awful, yeah. Well, anyways, obviously you have to go to the morgue and all that and identify the body and stuff like that.
Right, hell's bells.
So I've done that, done all that, had the birth of my son, all that stuff. So fast forward about 3 months ago. So I'm sitting in the new house, like watching TV, just chilling while the wife and the Ben's in bed.
Right.
So do you know blinds on the windows?
Sure.
The blinds on the windows slide open. So I'm like, oh, that's a bit strange.
Right.
Bear in mind it's about 12 o'clock at night.
Right.
Windows are closed, all that.
Yeah.
So I get up, close the blinds, and obviously we've got like mirror doors, like glass doors.
Right.
Got glass doors, so obviously I peer over. And I see the exact same vision of what I saw in the morgue, just staring at the window for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, blimey.
Sitting there, rotating the head and everything. So, yeah, that was my ghost story. So, yeah. It's the same like visual aspect that I saw in the morgue.
Because if you think about it though, if your sister had come back, she would surely want not to frighten you. She'd want you to.
You would think, wouldn't you?
You would think, absolutely.
But yeah, it was the same vision of the morgue inside the window for about 2 or 3 minutes. It was like a little standoff kind of thing.
So what you just stared and the image stared back at you.
Yeah, because it was like straight through the glass window doors.
Right.
Because I had a feeling like someone was watching us, and I just happened to glance over and just saw that, just staring at, like, peeking through the window. I was like, oh, no.
So after that 3 minutes, I would imagine all the lights went on. You went back to the blinds and made sure they were completely shut. And
the blinds were shut, and just total silence after that. Just like normal.
And there's been nothing since.
Nothing since. I've got ashes in the house, but nothing since. So,
right. Do you think it would be wise maybe to get them sprinkled? Where would she like them to be placed?
Probably Solar Park, I should imagine, because that was our favourite place.
All right.
But the 1-year-old tends to laugh in corners and everything, but we never say anything anymore. So.
Well, no, the bottom line, though, is if that's what you saw, that's what you saw. There's not for anybody else to doubt you particularly. And whether that was you actually seeing or whether it was your head telling you that you're actually seeing, because there's a bit of that sometimes goes on. It still is real an experience. That's the thing.
I did have nightmares for about 3 weeks after I saw it. So,
no, I bet that's horrible.
Could be that. It could be that. But yeah.
But the whole thing about identifying the body, we see it on television, and we always hope that we never ever have to do that kind of thing. What was it like? I mean, is it as grisly as it seems?
Blue and horrible. Just blue. It looks like they're actually going to wake up.
Right.
To be morbid, it looks like they're just going to wake up. Just peaceful sleep, to be honest, but obviously blue.
Did you know that she was in the kind of state that could get her that way?
Well, she met a person, so we had the suspicions, but obviously by this time we done anything.
She's gone.
Stubborn 23-year-old, you know how they are.
23. Oh, blimey, that's no good.
Yeah, I think the toxicology report was a mixture of cocaine, vodka, amphetamines, horse tranquilizers. It was loads of stuff. I think there was about 9 stuff in there. So obviously, being 23-year-old, the heart just give up straight away. So,
awful. If you take enough stuff, it'll end you every time. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, the coroner said it was actually the vodka that tipped over the edge. Believe it or not.
Really?
Straight vodka,
amazing story. Hey, Scott, thank you for sharing, man. Appreciate it.
Right, no worries.
Thanks for coming on. Bye-bye. How about that? Have you ever had to go through anything like that for your family, though? You know, your own blood, and you've got to go there and identify a body. Caught a glimpse of his sister in a ghost form. And I know of people that have had ghosts, or they believe they've had ghosts, and sometimes I feel that it's that person, because if you want to see a ghost that badly, especially if you want to see a ghost of someone you love, your brain's intelligent enough to make it happen for you, without whether it's real or whether it's not. Which is why I always say discount 95% of what you see or what you feel and look for the 5% that has no other explanation. And yet that was a 3-minute standoff there. That was just Quite something. Trig's been on and says, "Hi, Alan. Love listening to the show as always, but talking about being caught short. A few years ago, I was in the lakes with my partner in the Crown pub at Pooley Bridge. Suddenly, after eating, I need to go for a number 2. So I ran to the toilets, which there is only a couple of small booths in the men's. I don't know how he knows what's in the lid, but anyway, in the men's. After doing what I needed to do, I heard voices entering the toilets shouting poo. I flushed the loo, opened the door to find a man facing the cubicle with his little boy. As I left the cubicle, the man says to his son, who had a very reluctant face with the smell radiating from the cubicle, he says to him, "Get yourself in then." And I have never felt so embarrassed. I rushed out of the toilet laughing and I walked into the bar. All the best, DJ Trick. You can't help two things. Toiletry. A, if there is an atmosphere left behind, and secondly, the bum trumpet. It has a mind of its own. It's either going to play a tune or it's going to decide that this one's going to be a peaceful one. And they're the two things you can't prepare anybody for, which is another thing, because you know something we heard a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about people that go into the toilet or they're having a bath while their partner's having a poo on the loo in the same. No. It's completely wrong. And it should be illegal. We also have Kay, who is in Lowfell. Hi, Kay.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, sweetie. How are you doing?
Oh, we're fine.
Good.
Fine.
So, you've got a court story for me.
Well, sort of. So it was a really sad day. Like, I had pulled into the garage and I don't know why I phoned my mum, but she said, "Oh, like, your nana died like 5 minutes ago."
Oh.
And I was on Sunderland Road.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought, right, I'll just not bother putting the petrol in. I raced straight to the home, seen her, you know, like when she just died and everything.
So she'd be laid out in the home, was she?
Yeah. So it was comforting, though, to know that I had seen her just straight after, you know, but I must have been a bit messed up when I left.
No, I bet.
So I thought, right, I'll go and get my petrol. So pulls into the garage on Sunderland Road, picks the pump up, puts the petrol in. Never thought anything of it, drove away. Got to Felon Square, my car conked out. I rang my dad and he said, like, "Have you not put petrol in instead of diesel?" I was like, no, I've definitely put diesel in. Are you sure? He came down and he's like, "Oh, that really smells like petrol to me, pet, you know."
Yeah, you so, just picked the wrong pump. We used to call it kangaroo petrol because the car kind of jump and then eventually it conks out. So what happened? What happened then?
Right, so I get in touch with my friend. I don't know if I can pun the business.
Yeah, of course you can. Do it.
Marty Lee at As New.
Right.
Auto Recyclers. Right. And he said, like, "What you doing?" And I said, "Well, I think I put petrol in instead of diesel."
Right.
So he said, "Just leave your car, I'll sort it out for you and what have you."
Right.
So in the meantime...
So whereabouts was the car precisely then at this point?
In the car park in the Felon.
Oh, so you were at least able to get it in there.
Right. I just left it.
Right.
Went home, and as I say, after that, I kept getting these notes off the police. Because obviously, like, we're at work all the time. I'm never in.
Right.
And we're never in together. So I kept getting these notes through the door. Could you give me a ring, please? We called today, but you weren't here. And it was just every so often I would get this note through the door, and I was thinking, well, why are they, like...
Why are they bothering you?
Giving me these notes. Me and Jim went to France even for a week and come back. And I was still getting these notes through the door, like, could you please give me a ring? But the next one, he left his name, his PC number, so it looked a bit more important.
Right.
And said, "Can you please ring me?" And when I rang and I said, "Yes, hello, like, what did you want?" And he's like, "Well, you just didn't pay for your petrol." Well, I was so shocked. I really didn't think.
So when you went to France, you didn't realise you were actually on the run?
No, I didn't. Went to France, came back, as I say, I was still getting these notes through the door.
Yeah.
And but He was really nice. I was panicking because I said, I went, so does that mean I have to go to court?
Right.
And he went, no, Pat. He says, you've just got to go back and pay for your petrol.
Yeah.
He said because he'd studied the CCTV over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And he said that he realised that I was genuine, that it would have been something.
Yeah.
Um,
That's nice, though, because they didn't have to. I mean, they still could have done you for it if they'd have wanted to.
I think so, yeah. As I say, I feel like the police, they are really good. I mean, some people have got a bad opinion of them.
Sure.
But me personally, I haven't, because I've had a couple of run-ins with them.
Oh, you're a serial in trouble with a police person.
Oh, I am. One when I'll tell you this one. I was 40 weeks pregnant.
Oh.
Took me, like, my son's grandma to the airport.
Uh-huh.
And I came back while I was having contractions.
Right.
And it was really dark late at night. But I don't know what I had done when I was driving. Next thing I know, there's a blue light behind us, like sirens and everything. And I was thinking, oh, God. So, like, I pulled over into the lay-by. So I laugh every time I pass the lay-by on the A1 now, because I think, that was my lay-by.
Right.
And, I mean, he got out, like, thinking, oh, he's a big policeman and he's going to sort me out.
Yeah.
And I got out my car with this massive, big, fat belly, And he just took one look at us and shook his head. And I said to him, I goes, look, I'm having contractions. And he's like, you're not going to have it now, are you? I said, well, I hope not.
Right.
And he told us it was because I was driving erratically. I'd put me indicators on to come off on a junction, and I didn't leave the junction. And it was like little things I was doing.
Right.
But I tell you something, he followed me all the way home to my door.
Oh, now you see, that's sweet in itself, just to make sure that you didn't need to call anybody. That's cool. Respect.
No, so I think, like, the few times I have been, sort of like with the police and stuff, they've been really good, really good. They're not all bad. No. It's not all bad stuff,
Sure. No, it's good. Hey, absolutely good to hear it. Thank you for coming on. Cheers.
See you later.
Thank you, Kay. All the best. Bye-bye. There's Kate, an amazing story. I told you we had a tale from Pooley Bridge. Let's share this with you too. And that was about the toilet one, I beg your pardon. Easter. Courthood, Alan, years ago, when me and my brother still lived at home, if we weren't in by midnight, my dad would lock and bolt the door. And a few times my brother and I missed it. And we used to sleep in the shed if he couldn't wake me. One Sunday morning, I heard crash, bang and wallop. Out the shed comes the dog, then me brother, then some bird who looked like she'd be dragged through a hedge. And also Karen, joke, every time I go to a wedding, my elderly aunts would nudge me saying, you'll be next. Now when I go to funerals, I nudge them and say, you'll be next. That's Karen Patrick's joke. Thank you, Karen. Keep them coming. Sandy is next from Bolton. Hello, Sandy.
Hi, good evening, Alan. How are you doing?
It's good to talk to you. Thanks for sharing. What you got for us all?
Got an interesting story about... I caught somebody trying to break into my gym about 2 years ago.
Right.
And it's not just a regular gym, you go to get fit, etc. It's the Thai boxing gym, Muay Thai kickboxing.
Right.
Anybody who knows me will know from the Thai boxing world is that I'm quite disciplined. I'm really sort of, what's the word? I sort of follow the rules.
Right.
A little bit. I've done it for a long time. I practice basically what I preach if I can. Okay. So, I've got this strict sort of regime going on in my gym, in martial arts, run it like martial law. Straight but fun. I'm not all that. I'm not on a power trip.
Right.
Just like to help people out, teach kids, teach parents, teach families.
But what do you do when there's somebody trying to break into your gym?
Well, you can imagine, where this day and age, everybody, somebody's going to break into a premises, and you never catch them, do you? People scratch your car, do one.
Absolutely.
There's that many situations where people say, "Oh, I wish I could have caught them."
Right.
And I did. I was just finishing off one night, and pretty much everybody gone. It wasn't that late. It was probably only like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Just had another instructor with me. And we just chatting at the top of the gym, and next minute we hear somebody booting the back door, at the bottom door of the gym, which is the fire exit.
Right.
And we're 3 stories up, so like 6 flights of stairs. And someday, 2 guys are trying to kick the door in. God knows how they didn't know what was in the place, but they must have thought we'd come. I don't know. I turned most of the lights off, so it was just a light on the reception.
Right.
Anyway, I was like shocked and just thought, seriously? Somebody's trying to break into a Thai boxing gym for what? for a free kicking, maybe?
Yeah, there seems to be an ounce of kamikaze about it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just thought, well, either they're very brave or,
Very stupid.
They're very stupid. I didn't know which. And so obviously I was a little bit, I mean, I'm not invincible. Nobody is. But the adrenaline was pumping. So I run to the bottom door. My sort of fellow instructor, Daz Morris, he rang the police straight away. I said, ring the police, Daz. I'll deal with it. So I ran to the bottom, unbolted. There's 3 bolts on the door. Anyway, there's two guys basically outside. One's at the bottom of the steps. He's 6 flights down, gone. But the other one's halfway down. And I just thought, and I'm in my bare feet. I'm in my Thai boxing gear, which is like shorts, T-shirt, nothing on my feet. I've got in the gym, there's a padded safety floor,
right,
which everybody trains on. And you do not go on that with your shoes. You don't go on that with anything because obviously you're in bare feet. We've got kids on there, mums, dads, blah, blah. So anyway, I've got no shoes on, which is cool. So I was running outside, running down the steps, and I managed to catch one. So I got a grip of him and dragged him upstairs with one hand. Don't know how I did it. You got adrenaline flowing. Got him to the door where he's trying to kick in. As just before he goes through the door, I didn't realise what I'd done. I made him take his socks and shoes off. Which is the rules of the gym. And I think I was tripping out between wanting to kill him
and wanting to train him.
I wanted to train him. So I sat him down like a naughty boy on the ring, and he's a full-grown adult, and I wrote him the riot act, and I don't know how. I mean, just maybe self-control, but I stopped myself from absolutely filling the guy in, because obviously someone's trying to break in. You know what would have happened if the hands had been there, because, they'd have shredded the place, wrecked the place, stole whatever. And there's not much to steal in the Thai boxing gym, to be honest. But, my Thai boxing other instructor who stood at the back, he filmed it. He just filmed. He took a picture of the guy sat there like a naughty boy with no socks and shoes on.
Brilliant.
And he's laughing at me how I handled it. He's going, "There's only you could do that." And it went into the newspaper and the Bolton News, and everyone was like saying, "How did you not kill him?" Or rip his face off. And and somebody, one of my friends just messaged me, just said, "There's only you can do that. They can take his socks and shoes off."
Brilliant. No, it's brilliant. It's perfect as well. And I bet he felt like a naughty boy. Do you know what I mean? He would have felt it too. You also wanted to talk about Northern Soul of all things.
Yes. It features something. It's a big part of my life.
Love Northern Soul.
Northern Soul, yeah. It's. I know a lot of people come from up your end. I had a lot of Geordie friends who's come down to Wigan Casino. These come from all over the UK.
Absolutely.
But as far as Isle of Man, there's people come from Ireland, Scotland, you name it, Wales, the whole shebang. It's just I know there's a lot of people probably listening. Probably will be into Northern Soul, and it's one of those sort of underground music that's sort of stayed with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And for as much as I did Thai boxing, I won 3 titles in Thai boxing.
Well done.
But prior to that, I was the Northern Soul dance champion for Wigan Casino 2 years running. So there's a bit of a connection with the dancing in the Northern, kicking in the ring and kicking on the dance floor.
You should have had him spinning. That would have sort of get him on video dancing. But mind you, Northern Soul, not so long ago, about a year and a half ago, they released, one of the supermarkets had a release of Motown's Northern Soul hits. Well, and a lot of them weren't particularly huge hits, but they were on the Northern Soul scene. And what a fabulous album it is. It's a really corking bit of music. And it just brought it all back for me, because that whole Wigan thing was massive. And Northern Soul was always in the charts, usually about 25 to 30 in the charts, but always there and thereabouts. And it should come back, it needs to come back.
And it always features there. There's a lot of, like you just said about the supermarket thing. I think you'll notice there's a lot of adverts that come out, like maybe an advert for a car or...
Yeah, with a track.
Playing the odd Northern Soul ones, and anyone who's old enough will, remember them, that will because everything comes back around, doesn't it? It's everything does. It's like a circle of life. But it's such a very empowering music. And, I think for me, it sums up everyone's sort of relationships that you've ever had in your life, and make-ups with people, break-ups with people. It's great lyrics, great tunes, and I think it's, I think a lot of people of all ages, I mean, even younger people now these days, because it hasn't gone. It's never gone. There's a lot of people that still hear it.
But because it wasn't like mainstream, it was never mainstream. It was always kind of off to one side, and it was always happening with huge numbers of people going to the casino and what have you. It was huge, and a lot of the other centres tried to do Northern Soul nights, not as well, but they tried to do them, and yet now when you hear it, they sound like they were classic tracks, do you know? And back in the day, they were never particularly huge hits. But when you hear them now, something in our psyche kind of goes, oh, do you remember when? Brilliant time, Northern Soul. Well, you said you were a good dancer at it. My experience of it when I used to occasionally had to play in a club and somebody would say, oh, get some Northern Soul on. Half of them were standing, the rest were swinging on the floor, from my memory of Northern Soul. Is that you too?
Well, yeah, probably, yeah. There's a program that came out, and it still gets featured a lot and gets thrown about on social media, called This England. I don't know if you do.
Yes,
remember that?
yes,
that?
absolutely.
I was actually there that night, but I wasn't featured as one of the dancing on the actual TV, because for as much as like to be in the limelight, I didn't. And quite a lot of people on that night didn't want the cameras there, because, like you just said, it was a very. It was an underground music scene, which was massive, as you just basically highlighted there. It was like everybody knew it, but you didn't know it. Yeah. It was, where was it? Where could you go to
Secret
find
world, almost, yeah.
Yes, it was, and I think when the cameras came, they put on they all put the lights on, which just completely
it kills it.
Stops any type of even a nightclub of today. You wouldn't have a nightclub with all the lights. All that money. No. You'd see some strange sights as well. I think it's part of the atmosphere, isn't it? But yeah, I was there that night when they filmed it, and that keeps
coming around
through all social media. It'll live forever. Northern Soul music just seems to go on and on.
No, it should. Hey, must take a break, Sandy, but bless you. Thanks for coming on.
No, thank you.
Great to hear from you.
Nice chatting to you, sir.
Keep spinning, man. 0191 488 3188. That whole Northern Soul thing, at the time I had to work it and play a little bit of it. Never particularly got into it. And then when it was at its height, I was kind of away from it. I was doing all the rock thing. And yet, in retrospect, listening back, wow, it's a real eye-opener. Anyway, I was going to play a piece of music. We're going to quick break, the news, and then we'll get back to the dance. Whatever you want to talk about, pick up your telephone. Have you been caught doing something? Have you been caught short? Have you caught someone or your pet doing something you want to tell us about?
Whether the government will then decide to move on to the next step of easing. These people in London want to get back to normality.
I don't want my children to be homeschooling any longer than they have to.
For as long as I can imagine, I've been struggling with financially.
I just want lockdown to completely end, for everything to open, so I can go out to eat, go to the shops.
Let's give it one last push, and hopefully this can be the last one.
The Health Secretary says it looks like the first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine can reduce the chance of transmitting the virus. A third of adults in the UK have had the jab, with the government aiming to offer it to all adults by July the 31st. Two 15-year-old boys have been charged with kidnapping in Birmingham after a car was stolen with the owner's two young children inside. West Midlands Police says it happened just after 5 p.m. on Saturday, and they stopped the vehicle after 15 minutes. In sport, Celtic manager Neil Lennon's apologised to their fans following a shock 1-0 defeat to Ross County. The result leaves them 18 points behind leaders Rangers. Lennon knows that's bound to lead to more speculation about his future.
There's been scrutiny on me all the time, so I don't think that's going to change. But this is a result that, it's happened, but we were in total control and we've missed, the chances we missed, particularly in the first half, were unbelievable.
Rangers beat Dundee United 4-1. Manchester City remain on course for the Premier League title thanks to their 1-0 victory over Arsenal. Manchester United beat Newcastle 3-1 while Leicester got past Aston Villa 2-1. West Ham won 2-1 against Tottenham. That's from Sky News, the latest. I'm Daryl Jackson.
Alan Robson with you. Greatest Hits Radio North East, thanks for joining us, and keep spreading the word of the owl wherever you possibly can. Share us with the world. However, just before we start, a night owl's asked a serious question, and he says, Alan, I've lived in the same flat for 10 years, and I've just received a Section 21 notice, which I'm told is a no-fault eviction order, as I've got a private landlord. I've been given 6 months to find somewhere else to live. However, does anybody know if I will be rehoused by the council before the eviction date? Well, I presume you'd have to go down to the council and ask them. But what's the crack with a Section 21 notice, a no-fault eviction order from a private landlord? Now, usually if you leave a private landlord, you've got to source yourself a private landlord, and you would only go to the council if you couldn't afford to pay a private landlord, if that makes sense. That's normally the way that it would work, which would mean you got 6 months to find another landlord paying a similar kind of rent to what you're paying now, or whatever you can afford. What's the crack? Would the council rehouse, or did he just go on a list and the onus on him to find it? What's the crack? If anybody's been there, we'd love to just help them out so that they've got an idea of what lies ahead of them. Anyway, let's move on. We have next Jackie, who's from Stockton upon the Tees. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Alan. You all right?
I'm good, lass. Thank you very much. What are you talking about tonight?
Well, there could be a couple of things. I mean, I've got a court one, I've got domestic abuse one, and I've got a ghost one.
Right, well, pick which one you're going to start with, and we'll work our way through them.
Right, well, we'll go to the ghost one.
Okay.
It's the beginning of the story.
Right.
In our family home, my mum and dad got divorced, but me, my sister, and my brother stayed with my dad.
Right.
And I used to have friends where I used to play musical bedrooms and stuff. So one night,
right.
my friend was staying over, like, in one of the spare rooms because my brother wasn't there.
Right.
And my sister, I had to share bedrooms there, so obviously every chance I got, I went into my dad's bedroom. Anyway, one night I got in there, and the bed was up against the wall, so it was a double bed.
Right.
But then the other side of it was going to the middle of the floor, to the window. You know what I mean? So I had my back right to the window, like at the edge of the bed.
Yeah, yeah.
And the bed started to shake. And I thought, oh, it's just a dog, you know what I mean? Because I was talking a few weeks ago, we had a Jack Russell dog, not the one I was talking about, but we had this Jack Russell dog.
Yeah.
And what the dog used to do was it used to go in each people's bed. So, but when it went bed first, the dog would follow them.
Right.
Then if somebody else came, it would follow them.
Uh-huh.
So I thought, it's just a dog, trying to get in the bed. And then it happened again. I thought, I'm going to have to let it in. Then I realised I'd closed the bedroom door, like fully, and I never normally close it fully because the door was a bit dodgy.
Right.
So when you shut it, it didn't fully shut until you, moved it a bit, and then it went shut completely.
Right.
And it's pitch black in there, and I thought, it's not the dog, you can't get in. So it's happened again, and I thought, I can't, believe this. So I went frozen, and I thought, what am I going to do? And I literally, when I tried to move, I couldn't because I was that frightened it was going to do something to me.
Right.
And I was trying to shout my friend, and I didn't even think about my sister. And I was shouting my friend, and I was going, Andrea. Anyway, she came in the bedroom, and she said, what's going on? Well, it was a four-poster bed, so I flew over that bit.
Right.
Charged into my brother's bedroom where she was.
Yeah.
Told her, I said, no one's going to believe me. I mean, people don't believe in ghosts, and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, she said, I believe you. She said, because your face is as white as a sheet.
I bet.
Now, the same bedroom, the same friend and the same sister, what happened was my dad was a long-distance lorry driver.
Right.
And he, hang on a minute, Alfie. And he, the dog of me puppy, jumping up and down. I can't have tunes all the time here. Anyways, so anyway, my dad worked away, so he was driving wagons, and he used to be out overnight.
Right.
And sometimes he'd go on the morning. We wouldn't see him all day, all night, all day till the next evening, when he'd come home.
Right.
So my sister had a boyfriend, and I had to share rooms with her. Like I said, I had to move into my dad's bedroom quite a few times.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, well, my boyfriend can stay over. Anyways, obviously, my sister wanted to stay in her bedroom, so she let me go into my dad's with my boyfriend. Well, what happened? What are you doing in my bed? And he just started roaring. He's charging my sister's room. He's going, get in there now. Get them out of my bed. I want those sheets changing. No, get up. So, anyways, I thought, well, their boyfriend's gone home. So, anyway, obviously, like, we waited till he went back downstairs.
Right.
And I was upstairs going, you know, you're going to have to go out there, you know. And it's going, what? I said, well, you either get out the window or you go out the front door. You know, it's up to you. Anyway, I said, get out. You were told to go anyway.
Yeah.
So, and then I didn't hear the door or anything going. And then about a few minutes later, my dad is going, Jacqueline, get down here now. Get down these stairs. So I went down. He went, don't you ever do that to me again. Well, I just froze to the spot. It was like seeing a ghost again.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was forgotten about after that, but he did say a few days later I seen him sneaking over the garden. But he was terrified, obviously, so he didn't want to walk right down the path and right round, did he, so I could get hold of him. The good news is he only lived up the road. He was my childhood sweetheart.
Ah, lovely.
Oh, I was 17, by the way. So.
No, but I know that the whole thing, I once, due to circumstances, I had a bit of a do, like 4 or 5 people around, and I gave my bed up to some of the lads just to kip in. And me and the girlfriend went, and my parents, my parents were away. And you think, I've made that bed exactly the way my mum makes that. You never have. They always know. But what was this about the domestic abuse?
Oh, yeah. I was listening quite a while ago, and you had quite a few subjects.
Yes.
And one of them was about domestic abuse.
Because at the present moment, it's rife, apparently, but with everybody living so tightly together for the length of time we have. What happened in your case, though?
Well, I was thinking that myself. My dog wants to bloody play now. What are you doing, Alfie? I was the one who rang up about the Jack Russell chase in mice a couple of weeks ago. He's passed on, hasn't he? He passed on before Christmas, the one who was chasing mice.
Right.
And I've got a new one now, a little Tichu, so he wants to play at the wrong time, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you see, I texted and said, because with the lockdown and everything, it's not just lockdown. I mean, do people really notice when there's no lockdown? It's everyday life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How well can you hide it? How well can they do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're good at hiding it. The abuser is always good at hiding everything.
Yeah.
Because they rally the person up.
Yeah. And they manipulate them really, really well. I get that.
Yeah.
I've never, over the years on this show, and it's a lot of years we've done it, the idea of rescuing people who are getting hammered day in and day out and then making an excuse for the bruise or the mark or whatever. I've seen and heard an awful lot of it. And yet, the majority, if you talk to police officers, the majority of people that end up going to the police 3 days later are saying, "Oh, I'm going to drop the charges. He loves me." It was, and they go back, and I've never understood that because
well, I can enlighten you a little bit on that one,
right?
Because obviously I have listened to other people.
Sure.
And there was a girl. She was only a young girl, I don't think she was over 25, and she had a couple of kids.
Right.
And apparently, her boyfriend was in prison. I said, "All right, how long is he in prison for?" And then she said, "Oh, yeah, about 3 months." 3 months.
Right.
I said, "Oh, well, what's he in prison for?" She said, "Oh, well, it's domestic abuse." Now, if there's only her and the 2 kids.
Right.
What is she going to do when he gets out of prison? Does she have a chance to get away, get a home, find a school for her kids?
Yeah.
Like in that time?
Yeah. But and also you say what?
The thing is though, when they get out, get it worse.
Yeah, but because what you said was, what's she going to do when he gets out?
Yeah.
What's he going to do when he gets out?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. She's going to act like she's thinking, isn't she, about him getting out? You know, that's what it's going to be, isn't it? It's going to be, oh no, he's going to get out, you know what I mean, such and such. He's done this to me already. What's he going to do to me now? Put me in prison for the first time. You know, when he gets out, it'll be nicey, and then I'll just go up and get it again. And then I won't report you to the police because you'll just do the same thing again.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I'm not blaming the law or anything like that. It's just, it's not the person themselves, it's the situation they're in as well.
And also they feel that there's nowhere where they can go without feeling either, and they shouldn't feel shame in any way because they're the victim. But as I experienced something on a couple of occasions, I've been to people's houses to get them out. You know, people that have called and said, he's coming back at 6 o'clock in the morning, can you get me out? And we've taken vehicles to their house and got as much of their stuff out and them as we can. I've had a couple of broken noses on the back of doing this kind of stuff. But one of them, and this was a one that at the time I thought we've done the greatest thing in the world. A really slim, tiny girl. Tiny. She was about 4'10", really slim, 2 children. This guy had knocked out, she'd had a fractured jaw on 2 occasions, cracked ribs. He'd kicked her all over the place, and he just started hitting the kids. And she said, now's the time. He can hit me, but as soon as he touches the bairns, this is it. Right. And I thought, she's finally got to that point where she can break free. And we took some vehicles down to our property while he was out. She said he's away and now's the time. We all went down, we grabbed suitcases full of whatever we could, and we got her out of there. And I thought, this is amazing. This is one of the best things we've ever been able to do. And then I heard later on, she didn't go back to him, to her credit, but what the young lad was about 6-year-old, her eldest.
Yeah.
And she sent me a letter about 2 years later. And as soon as you get the letter, you think, she's gone back to him. She's, you know. But she hadn't. But instead, the eldest son had started hitting her, kicking her, spitting at her.
Oh, God, no.
Because he was following what he'd seen from his dad.
No,
and she didn't know what to do. And it took us about 1.5 years to get the kid, you know, psychiatric help and what have you, through the school. And what a mess, though. Because, you know, earlier on, he says you don't realise how divorce can affect, or a man walking out can affect the kids and stuff. Kids are like sponges. They take everything in, even the bad stuff.
Yeah, they do. I think the good thing about children, though, is if you can help them with the reading, like as soon as you can, you know what I mean, even before they go to school, because it gets them a bit more advanced if they know how to read before they get there, if you know what I mean.
No, that gives them a head start, definitely.
Yeah, it gives them a head start. I love it. I absolutely loved it with my daughter.
Right.
Anyway, back to the subject of what we were talking about. What it is, what I'd like to ask you is, do you know what a sociopath is like?
Ish. Why do you ask? Strange question.
Well, the thing is, the person who was doing it to me wasn't doing any physical things because he didn't want to get caught.
Right.
So he was using mind games and controlling and things like that. Now, I just want to point out, I mean, I'm away from it all now, but I just want to point out, when I first met him, right, this is how, I think you're doing on Coronation Street as well with Asher. This is how you get the early signs. Now, if they're that manipulating, you don't know what's going on, I'm telling you now. I was living in West Middlesex, right, and I met this Irish lad, and he said, oh, yeah, come out with us. And he knew this older couple who'd eloped from Ireland years ago, started to stay in this country. Come out with this club. Now, they used to go to a club, a workman's club in one area. And then there was, obviously, they're dotted about the social clubs. You can go to either one if you remember, or something like that.
Right.
To get remain.
Sure.
Right. So, anyways, we went to a different one, where I probably did. I thought people didn't know me, but there might have been a few in there. Right. And it was karaoke. And the man was called Leo, and the lady was called Mary.
Right.
And Leo liked to get up to the karaoke. So Leo got up, but with Leo being Irish, he was trying to do Elvis Presley.
Right.
And he was doing all the ho-ho's, yeah?
Right.
So I thought, oh, you know, if he can get up, you know what I mean, I'll have a go.
Absolutely.
So, and I secretly, when I've always been into music since the age of 7, and I used to sing to songs constantly, and I was a really good singer.
Right.
But I didn't know that I was. I just knew I liked it. Anyway, I got up and I sang Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley. And I got up, I said, this is for, you know, the lads, Decade. I said, I can sing any Elvis song. I said, most of the Beatles songs. I said, and if you like it, I might get up and do another one. Anyway, I did it, and there was about 200 people in that club. I mean, it could have been more, you know, it was a working men's club.
Yeah.
And all I could do was a load of clapping. And the stage, I'm not joking, I think they were trying to show, like, people up because the stage was massive. You had to get on steps, you know, like, getting down it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I sat down and he said, Mary doesn't want you to get back up. And I said, what? He said, Mary doesn't want you to get back up. I said, back up at what? That. Yeah, she didn't want you to get back up. And I think Leo had got back up, like, to do another one. And I said to her, why don't you want me to get back up? And she wouldn't answer me. And I said, I'm not being funny. I said, but like Leo's getting up, you know what I mean? Like, what's the problem in that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, who was it? I didn't know that at that time, but who was it now?
Right.
Him.
It was him all along trying to manipulate you by putting you down on behalf of other people.
Yeah, and that lady fell out with me over that as well.
I bet.
And they were his friends, so it was easy anyway.
Yeah, but you've got to remember that these people they're groomers, aren't they? It's the equivalent of grooming a young person. They've got you every day to tell you that you're useless and how lucky you are to be with them, and away they go. Awful.
I mean, I've had knives and all sorts, you know, shot at, you know, at me. I mean, there is really a really gruesome story that happened about 1994, 1996.
Thank heavens you're free of it all.
I lived in Southern Ireland with my daughter. I went there when I was pregnant, and I had my daughter there. And that was when I was pregnant, so my daughter's coming up 26 now, yeah, so we're going back to there. Lived in Southern Ireland, went down when I was pregnant. Cut the story short, baby grew up. I was happy this, that and the other. Came over here for a couple of weeks holiday, went back, and then, like you just said, I knew he was a bit nasty in that, but he turned proper nasty. And what happened was he starved me. And he gave me, and he was starving the baby because the baby was on milk, so obviously I had to go and get out of it and stuff. He gave me this fish and like thing because his mum used to make this like fish mashed potato thing.
Right.
And I've got no sense of taste or smell, and he knew that. So I looked at it and I went, that doesn't look right. He went, oh yeah, it is. I went, no, it's not. I'm not eating it. He went, here, I'll have some. So he filled his mouth up. But then, after I got a few mouthfuls, I seen him in the kitchen sink, spitting his up.
Right. What did he put in it?
Well, obviously, I was that hungry, yeah. I nearly ate it all by the time I seen him spitting it out.
Right.
Then, next day, throwing up in the toilet, constantly throwing up. What he'd done was, we used to get fish, yeah?
Yeah.
Fresh fish, and we used to half it, and we used to put the fish in the fridge, use it, get it out of the freezer and use that, but he'd put it back in the freezer.
Right.
The fish, just to kill me. Right, and then that was when baby was about, I don't know, 7 months old, something like that.
Yeah.
There was a raging fire in the house we were in. We were living in, like, I swear it was a proper mad house. We were living in, like a shared house, you know, where you have, like, flats and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were on the bottom, but before us at the front door, there was another flat with an Irish man and lady in, and he went straight back to us, but you'd go through the front door past them, then your door.
Right.
Now, I'm not joking, yeah. The windows, right, had bars on them.
Did he start the fire?
Did he start the what?
The fire.
No, he poisoned me with fish.
He poisoned you with fish, but you said then there was a blazing fire, you said.
Oh, yeah, sorry, no, yes. It was a real fire, coal fire.
And did he set it on fire on purpose, the property?
No, what he used to do was, the fireplace was really old and it covered practically a full wall up to the door.
Right.
And it was coal fire. And what he was doing was, he was lighting the fire and going out and leaving me on my own with a baby with a blazing fire and no fire protection or anything.
Oh, I see. So he was hoping that it would catch and take you out.
Well, it weren't that. He tried to kill me. He tried to. After that, not long after that, what he done was, right, when you came into the front door, you went across the living room, and onto your left was the bedroom stairs. It went up to a one-bedroom, and on the right-hand side, it went to the kitchen, but then the bathroom was in there as well.
Right.
It was only like a bath and toilet.
Uh-huh.
And he put a mortise lock, on the bathroom door.
Uh-huh.
The light was on the outside of the bathroom door, right?
Right.
And I was like, what are you doing? And I didn't dare say anything else, you know what I mean? I just watched. I thought, what's going on here, you know what I mean? I had no idea, no idea whatsoever, because the bathroom door did have no lock on, but he didn't have to put one of those on. But when your mind is driven up the wall, you don't think clearly.
No, not at all.
You're like, you're not like, okay, now he's doing,
Oh, you can't drop words like that. We're going to have to move on, but thank you very much for giving us a call. No, you can't. You get the impression that particular adventure could run on forever. My goodness, I'm just glad she's out of it. Let's quickly move on, but a quick track first. Let's have another star coming out at night. Bon Jovi, what a band. I talked to their guitarist, Richie Sambora, about writing songs.
You can write songs from many, many different perspectives. You can write songs from, how you're feeling at the moment, momentarily. You can write songs from your memories. I happen to have a pretty good emotional memory, and I can pull those emotions out and take a look at them and be able to convey them. Also, you can write it from a point of the observer, a compassionate look at maybe people who are not as fortunate as you are, possibly, or it's just like it's almost like a musical journalist or a musical novelist in certain, because because there's a lot of great novelists out there that write wonderful books that they don't have to exactly live the novel,
Right.
So I think that there's a lot of different ways that you can write.
Have Ian from Sunderland. Let's head in that direction. Hi, Ian.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, mate. What you want to talk about tonight?
How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you kindly.
Just on your opinion, just what you think of the new owner of Sunderland.
Well, I don't know too much about him. The Kirill Louis Dreyfus, something like that. His name is.
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
I don't know a lot about him. I know he's coming on Christmas Eve, and there was just a lot of talk of taking like a while and things like that to take over and that. But I know he's been getting dished by a lot of people because of his age, because he's only 23 years old.
Right.
And he's only a young lad. So, and people have said, oh, well, why are you going to Sunderland, a team that's in League One and not like a Premier League team or Championship or
It's
things
a
like
sleeping giant, though. I mean, look at when Sunderland were in the Premiership. Look at the amount of people that went to see that. That club play. They're an incredible club with an amazing stadium and a fabulous history, and they deserve to be higher up the league. They just need somebody that believes in them. I'm not sure. Age is just a number. It's what he's prepared to put into the club that counts, surely.
That's what I said, Alan, because there's loads of chairmen that are older that has failed in football clubs.
Sure, yeah.
So give the lad, a chance and give the lad, his due and things like that, and pump some money in. It should be going somewhere. Hopefully,
I would love to think so. I mean, it doesn't matter. I know there's a lot of people listening in that are black and whites or red and white or completely red with the borough and what have you. Bottom line is, we want everybody up in the Premiership because we want them derby games. We want the banter. We want that feeling you get when you know you're taking on your local rival.
Yeah, Alan mate will miss them madly, because them are the games that you want to play in. Like, you play. I think you play home and away twice, but it's them games that you want to be playing badly. And and like as I say, there was one guy on earlier on saying Newcastle's in a bad run, which they are. But I think, personally, I think Steve Bruce is the man, because, he's having a tough time. Don't get us wrong.
He tried with you guys first, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Right.
But like you say, he's having a tough time.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, give the lad his due. He's gone there. He's had a bit of stick. He's had a bit, to deal with off fans and that. But I think he'll do all right. I think he'll keep him up myself.
You think he'd be right? Well, it's a time to wait and see. But you'll know yourself with Sunderland. And I mean, Newcastle have fallen into the Championship before, and they've been lucky enough to get back out again. But how easy is it for clubs? I mean, Leeds went right the way down the leagues, and they've had to come back, and it's taken them a long time to fight back. Because it's easy to fall into another division. It's not so easy to get back out of it again. As Sunderland have found, they've had 2 relegations now, and we want them back as quickly as possible. So it doesn't matter that, Sunderland did it. Newcastle could do it if they're not careful. You just need a few runs of bad luck, and it's a slippery slope.
It is, Alan. It is. I agree with you there. I totally agree. It is.
So what does Sunderland need, though? What does Sunderland need from this new guy? What can he do that would give the fans a rush and get them heading in the right direction with him? Because, as I said, there's a lot of scepticism. He is a young lad. What do you want from him as a Sunderland supporter?
Just a bit, like, as I say, just a bit honesty, and a bit stability in the club, where he can come out and not, like, as I say, like wage bill and structures and things like that, where you're coming into games, or you're coming into seasons after seasons and not wasting lots of money, like throwing stuff at the club.
Right.
Like where, like, if he puts like 50 million in or 60 million and says, right, this can do something here, and then you do something with it, fantastic.
Right. I don't know how bottomless a pit he's got in the bank, but I would hope that you wouldn't take over a club just to, now I've bought it, I've got no money to do anything with it. You would hope. And when the FA were doing their due diligence, I presume they've looked to make sure he's got something that he can add to the club rather than just bleed it, because a lot of clubs have had those kind of chairmen. If he can get a few players in the right position, it would just be great to say, look at what happened with Rangers. They were dropped down the divisions. They pumped a lot of money in them, and now they're they're number 1 in Scotland by something like 18 points, as we heard on the news. And Celtic are scratching their head thinking, what the hell do we do now? It would be great to think that a bit of money behind Sunderland can see them flying through the next couple of divisions. Because when I look at it, you see clubs like West Brom and Fulham and Brighton to a degree, and Sunderland have the ability to beat those kind of teams. That's where they should be. They haven't got the team at the moment, but they've got the fan base behind them to sing the ball into the net. They've always had a great following, Sunderland.
Yeah, that's it, Alan, and you've hit the nail on the head there. It's like Sunderland can be that big club again if it gets the right as I personally believe, you've got the chairman in, you've got the right manager in Lee Johnson, because for me, he's the right person. He knows what direction.
He's solid, absolutely solid.
He is
proper
solid,
football man.
And that's what you need.
Yeah, he's proper football man. Hey, well, I hope it comes off for you, Ian. We'll be watching very carefully.
And what do you think about just briefly on like the coronavirus lifting?
I would love to think that we can safely get to a place where we can just have our lives back and look back over our shoulder thinking, what the hell was that? Do you know what I mean? Just to put it behind us and say, on to a better day. Yes, please. You've got to remember, every newspaper will be empty because that's all they write about. Every television news programme that runs seemingly for hours at a time talk about nothing else. It would be just wonderful if we can get past it. And that's what we've been trying to do on the show, just rise above it and let everybody be safe, let everybody's family be well, and let's get out of it so we can start living our lives again.
That's Alan. That's the best way. And how are you and your family getting through it? How are you?
We're all champion. We're well. Not a hint of any problem. And I hope that your family. I hope that your family's the same. Thanks for coming on, Ian.
Thanks, Alan.
Love and peace. Thanks for calling. 0191 488 3188. Well, what about it? We still want some more court stories. Like parents that get caught videotaping themselves.
No, it was like a Thursday. I remember the day forever.
Yeah.
So like, it was a bit of like supposed to be study day, but like we classes at Skivey and everything. So like, a group of my friends come back to my house.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad was at work and all that. And like my mum rang up like on the off chance. She said, "Oh, I thought you would be at home. Can you do us a big favour and tape all the soaps and everything at dinner time for us?"
Yeah.
I said, "Oh yeah, no bother." So, she's just take the first tape off the pile and, use that. But she said, check it for us, make sure that, it's not the film I taped the other night. I'm halfway through watching.
Right.
So I picked the first tape up, put it in the video, and my friend was sat beside it, behind her, and she called my name, so I turned around. But as I put the video in, I had, an automatic play on.
Right.
So, it played it and everything as I turned around. And so I was, busy talking to my friend then, all of a sudden I see my friend's, face just, drop. And I was like, what's the matter? And she was, look, and I was, what? And she was, look, I'm telling you now. And I was like, my God. Mum, Dad there on the TV, giving it what for?
On the TV?
On the TV, the tape themselves. Oh, no. With the camcorder. I was like, oh my God. I was like, at that age, I was 16, 17, it was a bit of a taboo subject. Mum, Dad still having sex, and there they were in front of my friends, on the TV. I was like, no! So I was so embarrassed. She went on the ground and swallow us up. So they're saying leave it on. I was like, no. I thought it was dirty, disgusting, yuck.
But you can imagine all of our friends said, leave it on. And then, of course, you got to keep your face straight. We've got a little bit of advice about the caller, about the eviction. Housing Advice Centre, Percy Street in Newcastle, good place to go. Register online. You can do that now with the council. And you can also register with Places for People Housing Association. Places for People. So there's 3 possibilities for you. Another quick break. Then we've got David from Prudder immediately after this. On the cash register to make an awful lot of money, life-changing sums of cash. Breakfast Show, Greatest Hits Radio, worth giving that a try, because at a time when money is in short supply, could help you out big style. We promised that we were going to go to Prudder, but first of all, I've neglected to give you your second clue, and we're only 20 minutes away from the third clue. First clue is this: 4 clues, all pointing towards a greatest hit film, a film that has greatest hits in it. What film is it? First clue, a bay in the northeast that you could enjoy a holiday. A bay in the northeast where you could enjoy a holiday. The second clue, a boy that the Irish sing about. A boy that the Irish sing about. 2 clues down, 2 more clues to come. And your third clue is very, very soon to come. So let's head across to Prudder as we promised you. David's there. Hi, David.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, man. What can we do for you?
A friend said that it might be a good idea to talk to you guys, and it was really about a friend of my wife whose husband died recently of COVID. I know you've just said you're trying to stay off the COVID.
No, that's all right. Tell me what you want. No problem.
So really, it was just to say we'd set up a Just Giving page for the family. Helen and Chris have been married like 21 years, and have got 4 children of varying ages. Chris has been shielding pretty much since the whole COVID thing started, and actually went in January to get his COVID jab, and the family almost breathed a sigh of relief, thinking that was everything over. But sadly, he came down with COVID just a couple of days after getting the jab, and was rushed into hospital a couple of days later, and he was there for 36 days, going through the various stages of needing ventilation and needing dialysis and things like that.
Because everybody presumes once you get the jab, that's it, you're kind of covered, but this is obviously proof that that's not the case.
I mean, the tragedy is that he was so close to having that level of cover that you need, but just stays away from it.
Well, you need that second one, 12 days or however long they is. I'm so sorry to hear it. I mean, you've said you set up a Just Giving page. If anybody has got any money that they're prepared to share about, it would be lovely. How do people get to it?
The address would be, so it's justgiving.com, and then it's /crowdfunding and /Chris Moore Memorial, so that's MOORE, so justgiving.com, crowdfunding, Chris Moore Memorial. And the
forgive me, Chris what?
Moore, so MOORE.
Oh, Chris Moore. Sorry, I'm Northern. Moore is Chris Moore. Right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Just Giving / crowdfunding, Chris Moore, and that's all one word.
Yes.
Lovely. Right. Hey, well, let's hope that they get some help. It must have come out of the blue that, as you say, it's like getting close to crossing the line and just being caught beforehand. What a shame.
It is, and it's one of those things where at the moment it's very hard to show your support in lots of ways. So normally we send flowers and go to funerals and things like that. But
you can't even do that
with
now.
The various restrictions on that, it's just not possible. So my wife was very close to Helen, and she was talking to her quite a lot over the phone, and people were contacting my wife to say, how was Helen getting on? And
how is she coping?
She's coping surprisingly well. I think she's obviously getting funerals and things like that sorted out now, but I think it takes a while for all of that to settle in. So I think it'll be certainly tough times ahead for us. So we kind of felt that really there were things we could do to help, and something as simple as setting up a Just Giving page and facilitating that so that friends could make donations if they wish to was something that was relatively easy for us to do and would make a big difference to her and the family. So
no, absolutely.
We set that up today, and it raised about £950. So she had 46 people that were sort of friends of the family and things like that get on and make donations, which was
it's a great start for a day, man. That's pretty good.
It is, yeah. It's phenomenal. It's more than obviously it's not going to make up for the loss of a husband.
No, it just takes away a little bit of the stress that comes with it. Is the thing.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
it.
But also it was the fact that there was so many messages to Helen and the family saying how much that Chris would be missed, and that kind of his life was important and made a difference, and that people are thinking about her at this kind of very sad and difficult time for them. So
absolutely.
I think much as anything, it's those best wishes and support as much as the money that will make a difference.
It's just lovely that you cared enough to do it, is the thing, because I think that at this time it's very easy for anybody, and it doesn't matter how many friends you got or how much family you've got, you're not seeing them, you're not being with them, you're not getting a cuddle, you're not getting a kiss, you're not getting a hand, a hold of the people that you love. It's very easy to feel isolated and left out, and to be surrounded by that kind of love at a time like this is very special. So thank you for what you're doing for.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things with the internet was that we had to do very little, because we kind of created this page and wrote some words and actually coming up with words to sum up that situation and how people felt was quite difficult in itself. But once we got that done, we really didn't do much more. It was all of her friends and friends of friends that got in touch with each other and posted it to the different forums on the internet, and it kind of took on a life of its own from.
Yeah, it is difficult though. It's difficult trying to sum up somebody's entire life in a paragraph. You know, it's.
It's kind of I've written for all sorts of things, papers and magazines before and things, but actually writing something that sums up somebody's life is an entirely different thing to do.
It is. Yeah, you must have done well, David. Thank you very much. Give us the name of that Just Giving page again.
So it's justgiving.com, crowdfunding, Chris Moore Memorial.
Chris Moore Memorial, all one word.
Yeah.
Thanks again, David. All the best. And I hope you get some money for them.
Thanks for having us on the show.
That's one. No worries. 0191 488 3188. Life has no guarantees. There never was. Nor will there ever be. And we move on. And all being well, the majority of us will be well. And we send love out to those that aren't. 0191 488 3188. Let's crack on. Oh, lots of other stuff coming. Gary sends this. Alan, I hope your family are well. I remember being 13 and smoking a Lambert and Butler and my mum catching me. I smoked one and ate the other 9 after she shoved them in my mouth and told me to chew. I never smoked again. Stay safe. Gary from Widrington, from Widdy. That's a northern mother right there, isn't it? Made me eat the rest. This one from, who's it from? Chris, with a K. I got caught doing 33 and a 30, and when the copper came to my car window, I had a £10 bag of weed in my pocket, which he could smell, so I had to go to the other kind of court for that. Got thrown out, though, because it was such a small amount, and the police were wasting the court's time. So, hey-ho, enjoying the show as ever. There you go. Thank you, Chris. And Sharon from Morpeth has a point. I've seen plenty of people parking in the parent and child bays at our local Lidl. They clearly don't have kids with them. I've seen them just park and walk straight in without a care in the world, while the rest of us have to wait in the car for over 20 minutes with 2 screaming kids. Rant over. Lesson learnt. Thank you for coming on. Okay, it is now time for, is it a quick break, or it's not quite yet? I think we've got time for one more call. Let's take that before the break. Hi, Stuart and Spennymoor.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, mate. What are you talking about tonight?
Getting caught. Well, not myself, but I caught my ex-wife having an affair.
Oh, what happened?
Well, I was working at a China. It wasn't Chinese. It was an Indian.
Right.
I was doing deliveries.
Uh-huh.
Now, this certain person, he was only a washer-upper. But I was taking, obviously, when I was doing deliveries, I was taking my ex-wife with us.
Right.
So while I was doing deliveries, she was staying in the shop.
Oh, blimey.
But I didn't, obviously, with us being blind, I didn't realise. So anyway, a couple of months went by.
Yeah.
I was actually married as well, obviously. I've been married for, about 4 years I've been married for. We're happily married and everything.
Yeah. Oh, you thought you were, anyway.
I thought I was. Anyway, I caught pictures on a phone of him. It was like nudie pictures and everything.
On her phone?
On her phone of him.
Whoa. Right.
Anyway, so I didn't think much of it.
Right.
As I was stupid, but anyway.
He was a dishwasher. What was he polishing in the photographs?
I haven't got a clue.
Right, okay.
Obviously, I can't really see on radio, but...
It's awful, though. So you see the pictures on the phone. I presume you would then try and find a way to sit down with the missus and say, oh, hang on, what the hell are these?
Yeah, I tried to and confront her, but by the time I confronted her, she'd have deleted them.
Right.
So, anyway, a day went by, and then obviously... I took her for a drive, and she was driving and everything. Bought her a car. And then she decided to go and see him. So, and then she went to, I think it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. She went to Darlington bus station to go and pick him up.
Right. And what did she say to you that she was doing then?
She never said. She just kept it all hush-hush.
Right. So what was the thing that gave it away completely then?
It was just staying in the shop all the time.
Right.
Because she'd never done that before.
Right.
So, and obviously I got a bit more curious. And then and obviously she wanted to come with us a little bit more and then stay in the shop again. I thought, something's not right.
For sure. I mean, because the whole point of going out with your partner and doing deliveries and stuff is that you're with him doing the deliveries. Sure.
Exactly, yeah. But no, she wanted to stay in the shop all the time.
Right.
So anyway, she went to go and pick him up from Darlington bus station one night, so I decided to follow him.
Right.
Follow her. And then I was waiting where the council, is it the council offices?
Yeah.
Where the bus station is?
Yeah, right beside him.
Right, but she didn't see us. So anyway, I seen them in the car. They were all lovey-dovey and snuggling up. I thought, aye.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was it.
So when she came back, what did you do? Presumably you blew your stack.
Oh, I didn't have blew my lid.
Right.
But yeah, and I told her if you wanted to go with them, then be with them.
Right, for sure.
But obviously a bit more words were said.
Yeah.
So yeah. Indian fella of all things.
Yeah, it's horrible when it happens because you don't want to believe it because you love the person. That's the thing.
Exactly. I mean, I think I met her as well in 2002. And then we got married in 2006.
Right. What a shame. What a shame. Hey.
And then obviously we got divorced in 2010.
Right. Damn shame. I'm sorry to hear about it, Stuart, but thanks for telling us the story. It's quite fascinating to find out how people get to know. And it's not like she was subtle. You know, it's I've come out on deliveries, but I want to stay with this guy who's washing the dishes.
Exactly. Aye. I know.
Crazy. Craziness.
So, anyway, I've met somebody else now and we're happy now, so...
Happy days.
That's the main thing, isn't it?
And I presume every time you look at your new partner in a bottle of fairy liquid, you think, he's welcome to her. Lovely. Thank you, Stuart.
Okay, cheers, Alan.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye. 0191 488 3188. Got to be careful with your fairy. Everybody knows that. 0191 488 3188. Quick break, then we're back with you. Blimey, it's busy. And we've still got more stars who come out at night on Alan Robson's Night Owls Greatest Hits Radio North East. Robson with you, Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. Thank you very much for hanging on in there, especially those of you that are watching as well. And I shall try and talk properly in future. Time for a third clue. Remember, we're looking for a film full of greatest hits. Okay? Clue number 1, a bay in the northeast where you can enjoy a holiday. It's one bay in particular. You've got to work this out. Second clue. A boy in Ireland that the Irish sing about. They sing about a boy. What boy do the Irish sing about? Third clue. The star of Pulp Fiction who danced with Uma Thurman. Okay? The star of Pulp Fiction who danced with Uma Thurman. Okay? I think the song was Girl, Down, 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 Down. You'll be a woman soon. Okay, so that was the third clue. You'll get the fourth clue in the next 20 minutes. Then you can have a crack at it, okay? Right, let us proceed. Very quickly, I want to thank Christine from Gosforth who came on with the advice for the eviction thing. I forgot to give her a mention. Christine, thank you very much. Very kind indeed. And Mark has been on about being caught out. Back in my teens, you remember when Channel 4 used to have erotic movies and X-rated reviews of adult movies late on a Friday night? I remember taping them in my bedroom, but just the best bits. Well, I left the video in the VCR, and my dad just happened to play it one day when looking for a spare tape. Yeah, that's not great. That's a bit desperate, isn't it? And now, of course, everybody's got pornography. By goodness. No wonder Chris on our switchboard wears glasses. 0191 488 3188. We got Alison next, who's in Anfield playing. Hello, Alison.
Hi there, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for being with us as always, darling. So, what are you talking about tonight?
Well, it was just a caught-out story, really. It happened to me probably, well, oh, God, it would have been about 15 years ago now.
Right.
Sunday morning, lovely morning, I was lying in bed, and my window where I used to live, nobody overlooked it, so it was, curtains were open, sun was shining in, I'm lying there, nothing on.
Airing your difference.
Exactly. And I didn't hear anything. The window was slightly open.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the window cleaner appeared at the window. And I lay there thinking, right, what's going to be the most embarrassing thing to do here? Do I pull the quilt over so he knows that, you know, I know kind of he knows that he's watching this type thing?
No,
or do I just lie here?
That's not good.
And I thought, I'm just going to lie here. He's obviously going to look, see that the curtains aren't shut, and he's going to go. Because it's somebody who I knew, and I knew him really well.
Dear.
No, I didn't. He carried on washing the windows and cleaning the windows, and my window had never been so gleaming. I'm lying there. I must have been beetroot from top to bottom, and I was thinking, oh no, I just want the world to swallow me up. I just want the world to swallow me up. But it was one of those moments that I thought it's going to pass really quickly, and he's going to think, oh, I best go. But he didn't.
But to be honest, in his defence, and I don't need to defend a guy, obviously, because I'm sure he had a thoroughly enjoyable afternoon. But when I was delivering newspapers, one of the rounds that I did was one of those streets, like if a long terrace of houses, and they had little tiny postage stamp front gardens.
Yeah.
But what you could do if you were delivering papers, you could either deliver a paper, walk down the path, then walk down the next path, deliver a paper, then walk back out the path. Or you could do what I used to do, which was
hop over the fence.
Hop over the fence, of course. But this means you've got to walk past the living rooms of everybody's house. And I'll tell you, the street was Clara Street in Benwell, for them what night. I was doing the Clara Street thing, hopping over all the walls, and I found myself, there was one that it had the windows closed, but there was a good foot gap between the curtain, and they had a light on, not a big light, a little like telescopic bedside light, but it was in the living room, and they were on the couch, and he was lying. I'm sorry, but the memory is still vivid to this day.
It's very vivid.
You cannot get it out. He was lying down on the couch, and his lady was, I think, reverse cowgirl is the official position for those whatnot. Anybody that's seen Rawhide and Bonanza, they'll know what I mean. But anyway, no, the reverse. He was just lying there. She was working hard, bless her. And I found myself walking past the window, and I got past the window, and I thought, did I just see what I've seen?
You didn't go back.
I did. So I just took 2 steps back to the gap and stayed in. And it was, what? Because let's face it, when I was like 14, 15, there was no such thing as pornography. The nearest you got to sex was somebody's crinkled, sticky Playboy magazine, and not great. So I'm staring, and he looked at me. She didn't. She was busy. He just turned and looked at me, and he kind of double took, and then he was shocked, and then he'd obviously said something to her, and then she hopped off, and he hopped up, and that was, then I
legging it down the street.
I was sticking papers through doors like daggers. Trying to get down the street. And then eventually I did about 3 doors, realising he's putting his pants on, isn't he? And then I just went out to the main street, legged it down the street and hid. In about 25 minutes, came back to do the rest of the houses. But you sometimes you see something and it's kind of like your chin just hits your chest and you're not even rationalising what you do. You are a peeping Tom, is what you are. But you haven't rationalised it. You're just gone, am I really saying that? Hang on, let me check. And it was completely wrong. But he never caught me anyway. That was a good thing.
Well, it was more the fact as well, the window cleaner. He normally used to clean all the windows and then he would come collect his money later on.
Oh, baby.
He went straight down his ladder and knocked on the door. And I thought, oh, he thinks that, like, that was done on purpose.
Oh, what, you're trying to knock a couple of quid off? Come on. That's
I was
cheeky.
like, oh, no. So I didn't answer the door. And then I actually got a neighbour to say that I'd never wanted my windows cleaned again.
Oh.
And I had to cancel them.
But it wasn't his fault that you were in the pink and cringly.
Every time I saw him, he just kind of looked at me and smiled, and I just thought, oh, he thinks that I did that on purpose.
Oh, dear.
So it was and I still see him to this day.
Can I give you a one that is, because you talk about that uncomfortable thing.
Yeah.
Because something that's nice, and this is somebody that you knew for a long time, so you were obviously comfortable and you got on well and everything was nicey. I've got a mate called John who used to he was like an electrician, and if ever you got into bother, instead of ringing an electrician, you'd say, John, I'll slide you a few quid. I need whatever you needed, and he'd come and sort it. Well, this is probably 5-6 years ago. I gave him that call, and I said, look, when can you get up? And he says, I can get there first thing on Friday morning. Now, this was on a Monday. By Friday, and I was working full-time back then, Thursday into Friday, well, I don't get finished till 2. I didn't get home till about 4 in the morning. So you're knackered first thing in the morning. And so I didn't realise he'd arrived, and I'd gone to bed, spark out, naked, and I got up probably about 10:30, 11. I don't had about 6-7 hours of sleep, and I was completely knackered and naked. I walked out of the bedroom into the corridor. There's a bathroom and what have you. Walked out into there, starting there, and he walked round the corner, and he was 4 inches off me nose. But he wasn't.
I'm pleased you said your nose.
I was going to say, I could have said it proves that there was nothing sticking out that time of the morning. However, he wasn't looking at me nose. He was looking straight down. Then he looked up and he went, oh! And he got a bit of a shock. And I, of course, I echoed, but I went, oh! And then you think, shall I bother a bit late to kind of try and cover anything up? So I said, oh, hiya, John, thanks for coming round. How's it going? And instantly turned around to try and, make it less kind of awkward, which made it even more awkward. And then again, every time he saw me for the next, 2 years, it was, oh, do you remember that time? Yes. Walk on, move on.
At least you talked about it. It's never been mentioned with the window cleaner.
No, but you see, but I would imagine back when you were in school, if you went to the showers, you'd be there with all the girls and you'd all be naked and it'd not be a big deal. And all the lads, we'd be in the shower, not a bit, we'd be flicking each other's penises with wet towels. But there was never an issue. And yet, now it's an issue. When you grow up, it becomes an issue. We've all got roughly the same,
I know.
Roughly.
I know, and it is. I know where we live now, we've got some building work going on out the front.
Right.
And we are not overlooked at all. We've got, so I'm terrible because I don't shut the blinds, and on a night time I can often be wandering around with nothing on, and I think, I must stop this habit because there's going to be houses there soon.
And yeah, it'll be that day. It wasn't you with Chris the truck who said she was naked at the curtains and she had her knockers out and everything, he said.
Could have been.
Could have been your hair, and you never know. It's
No,
but
not
do you not think
particularly
do you not think it's all kind of ridiculous, the whole body thing? We're all
Well, it
scared
is.
a bit.
Well, I would love to be one of these people who can go along like to a nudist beach and
Yeah.
just wander around quite freely and be quite happy, because we should all be just happy with what we've got and embrace the body that we're kind of living in.
I wouldn't advise that. I've done two things with nudist camps. Once I opened one, and they said, they put a poster up saying, "Come and meet the flashing blade, our brave and fearless leader from the Night Owls here." And I went there, and I had a lovely suit that I'd actually only bought for a couple of gigs, that being one of them. And the first thing they did was give me one of these cages to put your clothes on that you would get in the baths.
Oh, yeah.
And you kind of swallow big, and I said, "No, I'm not a naturist. I'm just opening the new hall that they'd built." And they says, "Well, you're not brave and fearless," and you kind of go, "Give us the cage." So that was unpleasant, and my picture was on the wall in the radio station with "Spot the Ball" written underneath the photograph that they took. That wasn't. It sounds funny now, but at the time it really wasn't. But the worst thing was we did
At least you can say you've done it.
Yeah, but we did a nude beach when we did a week in Mallorca to win a holiday in Mallorca for a night owl and their partner. And when we were there was a naturist beach on the west coast, the north end, for those that know Mallorca very well, and opposite end of Magaluf. And we decided how cool would it be for us to take a walk through a nudist beach, and we'll record the whole thing. Horrific. Everybody looks. They say they don't, but everybody looks. The majority of people there are aged 50 to 70 to 90. It's that. It's not, "Oh, here's where the young, fun, trendy individual." No. This is wrinkly, strange shaped. It's not what you think. And
Does that not make it better? Does that not make it easier?
No. You kind of go thinking, "Oh, we'll see lots of the pretty sect. This is the gorgeous people. This is the how does it feel to be one of the beautiful people?" as John Lennon once said. So you expect to see the beautiful people. Oh well,
and they're not there.
Oh well, I mean, I wasn't beautiful, but we were all kind of in it together. And then in the distance, and this is recorded somewhere, somebody will have it, I said, "Look, there they are." And there was this blonde girl, 22, 23, immaculate, beer watch, right there, in the sea, up to her thighs, kind of, naked, gorgeous. And you think, you don't want to look too much because that's pervy.
Yeah.
We're just walking to each other. But here, there are attractive people. There's a really, really good-looking lady in there. And then this guy comes down from presumably the bar with a couple of drinks, blonde, 6'3", 4". He had Henry the Hoover hanging from him. This was not, "It's a cold day, it's hiding amongst the tree line" or anything. This was Henry the Hoover, full scale, and it was ready for it. This was just wrong. So then, of course, the guy that was with me producing said, "Why don't you interview them?" I didn't want to get anywhere near it. However, I said, "Oh, would you mind having a chat?" "Oh yeah, okay." And in kind of pidgin German, I had this uncomfortable. First of all, if there's a naked woman, you cannot look anywhere but her eyes. You can't say, "Oh, you got an amazing body there." You should be able to say that. Instead, I found myself saying, "You've got lovely eyes," as if to say everything else is a bit shabby, but the eyes, nice move. "Oh, that's fine hair you've got." You've got to keep complete eye contact. And then, especially with a guy, if we were going to sing the song "I'm a Little Teapot," he could have done an amazing job at it. I'm standing talking to him and saying, "Does it not bother you that everybody's looking at you because you're both attractive people? And if the whole beach isn't, and one couple are,
Yeah.
everybody's staring at them, I'm sure. And then you go up to the bar and everybody's naked in the bar and they chuck you out if you haven't got shoes on. Who gets naked with shoes on?
Yeah, it looks a bit odd, doesn't it?
It's like, keep your socks on as well. There's so many things wrong with the naked on a beach thing. And I know loads of people have done that thing where they say, I've just heard there's a nudist beach up. Oh, let's go. When you've got your clothes off, you're the most self-conscious. You find yourself trying to walk with your chest sticking out and your belly sucked in. And, no, it's not, certainly not for me, that whole thing.
But it's like the programme Naked Attraction. Do you ever watch that?
I've seen it on occasions, and the first time I saw it, I thought, what the hell's this? They were going along a road looking at people's testicles, and I'm thinking, what? What's happening here? This is just peculiar.
Fascinating. It is true that
it's not sexy, though, is it? I don't think that programme's remotely sexy.
No, I don't think it is either. It's a bit weird, but it's kind of like the conversation started. It was brilliant. We were sitting one day and it came on, and the family were here, so we just kind of sat there and went, "Okay, do we just leave this on, or do we flick it across quickly?" But yeah, it certainly opens conversations and everybody goes very quiet.
Yeah, but also it's an education about the peni, you know, that whole thing, because some are peeping out, some are hiding away with their polo neck pulled up tight. It's an interesting thing.
It's the end when they get a hug. You kind of look at it and go,
I
can't control it.
But mind you, in fairness, they do the gentlemanly and ladylike thing where they lean in.
To the side.
Yeah, they do that kind of thing. And I'm not surprised, because being naked is just awkward. And I'm sure we'll get a few awkward stories now, Ali, thanks to you.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on.
Me up no end, Alan.
Hurrah! Thanks for coming on the show. Take it easy, babe. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye. 0191 488 3188. Oh, the awkward nudie thing. 0191 488 3188. We have Dave. He's in Sunderland. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, mate. What have you been up to then?
I went for my COVID injection yesterday.
You've put in for it, have you?
I went for it.
Oh, you've gone for it. What's it like then?
It's not bad. I didn't even feel the needle yesterday.
Thank heavens for that. That's good. And you're feeling all right? You've had no kind of effects?
My arm's a bit sore today, but that's about it.
That'll disappear in a day or two.
Uh-huh.
So fingers crossed. Hey, good on you. Well done.
And I've been getting some more DVDs, Alan.
Oh, what you got then?
I've been getting George and the Dragon with Sid James.
George. Oh, yeah, that was a TV series, wasn't it? George and the Dragon. Yeah. Barbara. Not Barbara Cartland. Barbara.
I forgot who the woman is.
What was the woman called in that? Oh, well, probably wasn't Barbara. I couldn't think of it. Oh, but she was really good. The woman with the long hair, and she's been in a lot of things.
And I've been getting Two in Clover with Sid James as well.
All right.
And then I've been getting a one called Lucky Fella with David Jason.
Right, I can't even remember that at all. Would you?
I can't say him before he's only fools and horses.
Right. Great. It'd be interesting to see anyway.
And I've been getting those Sharp Intake of Breath.
Right.
That's another one with David Jason.
Yeah. Classics.
So I've been getting a few.
Old-fashioned telly. Why not? Good stuff.
And I'm busy watching Georgia Mildred at the moment.
Youtha Joyce. I seem to remember the woman being.
She was only 53 when she died.
Was she? Right, okay. She was a funny-looking woman, but she was a big star in her time, wasn't she?
She was.
Yeah.
She was.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad you've been watching some stuff. It's just finding stuff to do, isn't it? Because you get so much time on your Todd these days. But
I'll be watching the Prime Minister tomorrow, see what he's going to say about the lockdown and that.
Yeah. It'd be good if we get to
How
see.
do you think that'll go, Alan?
I think that it's going to be not as quick as everybody would like it to be, but as long as it works out and we eventually break free of it all, then I shall be a happy human, and there will be many
I think he was right to lock down, like to you.
Why do you think he was right to lock down?
Because the cases were getting out of hand, really, and the deaths were going up quite a bit.
Right. So the thing is, some people say lockdown works, some say that it doesn't work and they should have done something else. Bottom line is, you got to go along with what they say for the safety of everybody else. It's not just it's not just about yourself. So you've got to be.
I've heard the face masks can probably stay for quite a while.
Yeah, and as long as they do, it's always going to feel like we're still under the umbrella of what this damn thing is.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for the time when we're all safe and healthy, hopefully healthy enough to be able to just go for a day out where we don't even have to think about it. That'll be a glorious day.
I was watching a funny episode of George and Mildred the other day, Alan.
All right.
They were getting a shower and they couldn't use the bathroom. And George thought he'd have a bath in the sitting room with the tin bath.
All right,
And Mildred went out. And then she came back in with her mates and George was in the bath, wasn't he?
Oh, blimey. Brilliant.
And he'd underwater for the time being. And then all of a sudden when the women were sitting on the couch, he popped up out of nowhere.
Fabulous.
That's classic stuff, isn't it?
It was classic. I mean, that was a time when the proper TV comedy series were massive. I mean, there were huge, successful TV shows, and some of them that, as I say, people wouldn't even know the name of now, but they used to do that kind of comedy really, really well. But I'm glad that you're okay, because you've got special issues, as you know, and it's just good that they're looking after you. So thanks for coming.
Can I ask you one more thing, Alan, quickly?
Of course you can, Dave. Anything.
Can you remember an advert about the Milky Bar Kid?
The Milky
it.
Bar Kid is strong and tough, and only the best is good enough. The creamiest milk, the whitest bar, the goodness that's in Milky Bar. The Milky Bars are on me! It was something like that.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was good. And it was always the same looking kid. And there was always a kid in your school who had blonde hair, little John Lennon glasses, and he would get the Milky Bar Kid all of his term. That kid, every time. But no. Why, are you into white chocolate?
Not at the moment, I'm not. I used to get something else. My dad and my brother used to call me somebody else.
Well, who was that?
They used to say I was like Roland Brown in Grange Hill.
All right. Oh, that's not nice.
It's not.
Yeah, you could have picked a nicer one. But anyway, hey, bottom line is you've turned out pretty damn good, Dave. You should be proud of yourself. Thank you for calling. Look after yourself. Good man. Bye-bye. There is Dave. He's all right. Youtha Joyce, George and Mildred, Hell's Teeth. 0191 488 3188. Time for your last clue. Most people, I would imagine, would get it. Surely to goodness. Clue number 1. A bay in the northeast where you can enjoy a holiday. Then we have the second clue. Ayland's boy, the boy that Ayland sing about. What was his name? Third clue. The star of Pulp Fiction who danced with Uma Thurman. And the fourth clue was this. And, hang on a second, I've lost the clue. It's here. Oh, there it is. Of course. The final clue is this. It has nothing to do with the capital of this country. It has nothing to do with the capital of this country. Okay, that's your fourth clue. It has nothing to do with the capital of this country. And it is a country that has many islands. Okay? Many islands. Can you work it out? 4 clues. And we're looking for a movie that features a lot of greatest hits. See if you can work it out from what you get. Okay? 4 clues it is. And pick up your telephone, give us a ring if you have any idea. 0191 488 3188. And take your chance. You win yourself the legendary Night Owls mug. And some of Sue's goodies as well. Nice little key ring for you. 0191 488 3188. Do your darndest if you possibly can. George and the Dragon, somebody just sent a message in, Chris, for that. Peggy Mount was the actress. Was it? Do you know, I was thinking, and I've just remembered who it is, I was thinking of Bless This House, which was another Sid James thing, and it was Diana Coupland was the missus, and the daughter was Sally G, who had a bit of a fancy for at the time. I was only about 5. 0191 488 3188. Get cracking. Give us a call. And, give me a ring. See if you can work out our competition tonight. Meanwhile, let's head in the direction of Anonymous, who's in South Shields. Hello, Anonymous.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, mate. What can we do for you tonight?
You talk about football, right?
Yes.
I love football, and every time you go on the internet, you see everybody kick off about Newcastle. This, Steve Bruce can't do this, Steve Bruce can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's down to the manager. I don't think it's down to the players. I think it's down to the person that owns the club because he's a businessman.
Yeah, sure.
And if he's a businessman, if you were in his shoes and I was in his shoes, we would want to do business.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go down in the Champions League, it doesn't make a difference. And I most probably get slated for this phone call tonight, but I'm like a Tone fan, totally.
Right.
But we buy the tickets. We supply them.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we go into the Championship, it doesn't make a difference because we're still going to provide him with money. It's not going to change. So if even if he goes down, he's a multi-millionaire. He's not going to spend nothing on the club because he's money-orientated. He's a businessman. That's what he does. His heart's not in the club.
Yeah, but if you think about it, there's a lot of people connected with teams like Manchester United, Man City. They're business people and they're coining it in. They're making a fortune, even at a time like this where the vast majority of football clubs aren't making money. If you're in the top and you're in the Champions League, you're getting paid a fortune and television rights and all of that. If they went down to the Championship, they would lose a lot of money from TV rights and the money that they get from being in the Premiership. So he's not going to want that. So do you not think he's just providing enough money just to keep them above the zone? Because that's what it seems like to most Newcastle fans.
And at the end of the day, everything that's been plowed in that club, he's taken out and bought something else with it. So if that was his main priority, why didn't he put it back into the club?
Well, it's not his main priority. He's got big business in every other direction, hasn't he? He's making a fortune buying high street places.
Yeah, if he's got this fortune, mate, and if that's his priority, like this big, massive Newcastle club that all the fans that support, you would think he'd support the fans, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you could argue that he maybe did that at one time, because I can remember him going into the Strawberry and, buying everybody a pint and stuff right at the very beginning when he was, trying to make his name with the supporters. As soon as it starts going wrong, he got slagged off and everybody had a pop at him, and that's the nature of the business. When you're winning, everybody loves you. When then you're not winning, you're to blame. It's your fault. And that's kind of how it's been. And if you look, but it's always the manager that goes rather than the director.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But if that was me and I was in that business, I'm not bothered about what outlets I've got out there because obviously you've got people shopping in them outlets, but you've got say 52,000 people going to that football match.
Yeah.
I'd be ploughing it into that and thinking, look, hang on a minute, I need to make this work.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, and I'll tell you what is the situation that we're in at the moment, and I'm dead low, I think it'll go down to Fulham and Newcastle at the end of the season. And I mean, you look at Fulham now, them are fighting.
They're starting to pick up.
And you look at us tonight, hey, I'm not going to knock out tonight because we played a good game, but when we come out second half, you're thinking, well, what?
Yeah.
What have we got?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear it. The only thing that I would say to that is, nowadays, to buy a really good quality footballer, the Callums of this, Callum Wilsons of the Premiership, it's a lot of money. And you could either say, if we bought a player like that, as he did, we'll, trust the club. We'll get them what they need. The goal scorer that Joe Linton wasn't. We'll get a guy in who can score. And there's still no guarantee. However, that's millions of pounds. And 52,000 fans are still going to ram themselves in there, whether they bought them or whether they didn't buy them. So you can understand them saying, why need I bother? They're going to support them, whoever we put out there.
you hit the nail right on the head, because you know why? Because at the end of the days, it'll always be the supporters that want to support the club, that'll support him, and then you can have this argument every time you look on social media, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to this football match, I'm not going to that football match, but and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
But as soon as the gates open, you're queuing up with everybody else.
Yeah, you've got your season ticket because you want them to do well.
Yeah.
And then you'll say to yourself in another way, why? But it's too late because you bought that season ticket.
Yeah, but even if you don't buy the season ticket, one of my mates is an avid. He's been every game since about 1972, and he said he decided he wasn't going to go this week, and he's never bought a season ticket, but he's always just turned up. And surprisingly, even he's self-employed, so every Newcastle game, miraculously, he always manages to get there. And he said to me that he decided he wasn't going. He was going to take his wife out. He's going to buy some clothes shopping and do something completely different. He got the sweats about an hour and had to say to her, "Look, I'm going to the match. I'll see you in a couple of hours. Here's the credit card. Heaven help him." And off he went. He couldn't keep away because it's
hard, isn't it?
It's tribal, and you can't do anything about it.
It's like everybody will say, like, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that, and you'll watch on social media, and you think, well, if that's the way you feel, why blame the manager and why blame the players? You can only send the players out there that he's got.
Yeah.
And I'll most probably get slated for this, but he doesn't make them decisions. It's somebody at the top that's like, no, you play this one, you'll play that one. And it'll never, ever change. That's what football's all about. Because if you plough millions into it, you want to play that player.
Well, you do, but on top of that, Amanda Steer, I know every Newcastle fan's hoping, surely, maybe this time, this takeover will come through. She's took Barclays to court. She might get a whole batch of millions back. You never know your luck. But hey, good talking to you, Anon. Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
I want to ask you one more thing before I go.
Sure.
Do you ever hear from Linda, Neil, or Bernie?
Bernadette has, obviously, since her mum passed, she hasn't been on. Who were the other two? Sorry?
Linda and Neil.
Linda is in the queue.
Oh, I love Linda.
She's in the queue to come, and Neil still listens, but he can't come on after 11 o'clock, and therefore he's got to try and get in the queue to fit. But he's still there. But thank you very much for calling.
God bless you, Alan.
All the best.
See you later, mate.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye. There you go. Anonymous in South Shields, a proud Maggie, and feeling it. Absolutely feeling it. Right. We talked about the stars coming out at night. I got a very quick one for you. Then we got to take another quick break. Then we have to talk about our regulars. Gene is coming on the phone very soon. But Lionel Richie, how easy was it for little Lionel to start out in the business?
My mother was a school teacher, and my father was a military man. So it was one of those things where it was.
You'd be a disciplined child.
I was highly disciplined. My father did not spare the rod. No, not in any case.
You were in the woodshed a lot.
You understand. You do understand.
So once you decide, though, this is a school teacher who I presume would think, get your qualifications, young man.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's your dad saying, okay, and get them quickly, and look smart while you do it. How do you end up in the music business? Because I thought that had been holding you back there.
Well, I can tell you probably one of the most disturbing days of my mother and father's life was the day I presented them with 5 other guys. We called ourselves the Commodores, and we were going to take over the world. And she looked at me and she said, "What did you say?" And I said, "Mom, we are the mighty, mighty Commodores, and we're going to beat Sly Stone and the Temptations." And of course, that's when they decided that I was completely crazy.
Yeah.
And from then on, it was just one scary day after another until finally one day I brought them a #1 record from the Commodores called Machine Gun.
Yeah.
And my father's tune changed instantly. I heard him talking one day, "A father should stand behind his son." You know, a child. And I said, "Dad, was it the royalty check that changed you? What was it exactly?"
Did you call yourself the Commodores trying to outrank him?
Well, you know, one of those things, not at all. I mean, it was so far away, I did not think by a moment that I was going to do this for the rest of my life. It was just supposed to be that we were going to make some money while we were going to college.
Right.
And the next thing we know, we're the opening act for this new group called the Jackson 5, and the rest was history.